Crisp.
Glorious.
Crisp. Right, fans on, gents.
It's so hot!
Howdy on, welcome to the second episode of Western Wilds. Who would like to give us a recap? Anybody?
Nope, not today.
Do I have to know the character?
No, not at all.
Okay, so we started a new game.
We did.
We saw various different excerpts from the origin points of characters, and then we saw as those characters came together at an army camp because someone needed to escort a pine box to Fort Morgan?
Fort Morgan, yeah.
I keep calling it Tombstone.
Tombstone is a little bit... Actually, I can show you. So if you get the bottom map...
Yeah, I can...
Yeah, so Tombstone is actually there, so you're not terribly far away from Tombstone. But Fort Morgan up here. Yeah, so Fort Morgan sits within the Coyotl lands. Although the revealed Coyotl, the friendly one's not the Lightsworn Coyotl. It's kind of like the last bastion of safety, relative safety for humans as you move northwest into the Coyotl territory.
There is a speaker behind you. Take like fight. And then if you want to move the speaker...
I do not remember this from last session at all.
Okay, so what we did was we then escorted this pine box containing the body of the freshly deceased Captain Carter Garland back to Fort Morgan.
Yeah.
We did so, encountering some harpies along the way, which had some weird siren-like qualities. They were land harpies.
Basically, yeah. Or land sirens.
Sorry, land sirens, yes. And we got to know each other a little bit, got into some scrapes, made our way to Fort Morgan, arrived there, and word had gotten ahead as to whom was being transported, and there was a silent vigil as we drove through the streets to our destination. We got there, and then we heard a thumping sound and someone saying,
What the hell's going on? Let me out of here!
or adjust accent as appropriate.
Yeah, fair. Covers all manner of sins. Absolutely, yeah. That was that.
I could have done that in the lady voice.
You could have, and you shouldn't have. Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, to take a session inspiration point. Yeah, we come to in a crowded sort of common room in the ground floor of the governor's mansion. Is the wrong word. In any other city, this would be a mansion, but Fort Morgan is a town of soldiers and warriors. Fort Morgan doesn't go in for the kind of impracticalities that most other cities do.
Is it closer to like a keep then?
Yeah, so you'll have seen on your way in, Fort Morgan is built into like a natural, like crescent-shaped canyon.
Yeah.
And a actually, you can roll perception if you want to see if you could clock a bit more of this on the way in.
Yeah, go on then.
You travelled through the early morning to get here,
Crazy.
but if I can. Is that working?
Seems okay. We're not putting any animation through it.
Are you able to activate scenes? Because I can't seem to do it from here.
If you right click on that.
Yeah, it's only giving me configure and preload scene for some reason.
It's because that is still the activated scene because I moved across manually. You didn't
Okay, yeah.
Didn't activate
If
the
you get ahead to Fort Morgan.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can see that it is built into this sort of crescent-shaped canyon with the walls of 200 feet of rock at the back, slightly lower towards the towards the front, but on either side of the gate, which in essence is just a massive block of stone which is winched up by chains. There's no swinging out. This is something you could drop on someone if they tried to come under.
Is the inclusion of the train cart in the art intentional?
It isn't. There are no trains in
That's
Volan,
what I was...
but I do like this art very much.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
if that was a big block of stone.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
An excellent question, though.
I mean, maybe your maybe Mike's character could invent the railroad,
Finance it.
and you could finance it. Yeah.
With a small loan from Harlem Drive Union Bank. And you can see all along all of the walls that lead up to the actual, or along all of the the artificial walls, there are cannons and ballistae and various things. Can you roll me Arcana as well? I think this is your kind of thing.
That is 24.
This place has shield generators. You can see two, like the very pinions of the ends of the canyon, that where it stops being natural. There are big like towers surrounded by like crystals, which are sort of spiraling around them.
Yeah.
And you can see select other ones throughout the city. What was it, 24?
Yeah, 24.
You think this probably like creates a full like energy dome over the city in times of need. It doesn't look to be currently switched on though.
No, because it would draw an awful lot of power.
It would require an awful lot of power, that is for
Is
sure.
there any sign? I've rolled a 5 on the perception, so I'm assuming I'm not going to get this. But
Oh, you're fully engrossed in the shield generators.
Yeah.
You've already worked out 9 ways to turn them into weapons.
Cool.
And no one wants that.
My only question was going to be, can I see if there's an obvious power source? Like, is the generator next to them?
Not
or
that
is
you
it
can
running?
see. No.
That's fine. Cool.
Yeah, so in the governor's house, or rather the general's house, because that's who runs things around here, it is hot, it is crowded, everyone is cramped in too soon. And people have packed in to pay their respects. Carter Garland was, and possibly is, a truly beloved folk hero figure in Fort Morgan. He is the hopes and the dreams of the people. And we pick up as, from inside the box containing the body of Carter Garland, you hear, "What the fuck is going on? Let me the goddamn hell out of here!"
Are we still carrying the box?
No, it's been laid on a table.
Are we next to that table then?
Not really. Like you pass it off to some soldiers, and you're just by the door, or like you come off to one side, and more people are like pressing in.
Oh, so it's like a big church, and there's an exit on the left, exit on the right, and then there's like a big main entrance.
It's not even a church. It's just like a decently nice sort of middle class house.
Oh, okay.
But there are secure quarters upstairs for like both. Formerly the general, now the colonel who's running things, and
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Did there seem to be a trigger moment for when he started talking? Like, is it as soon as he was placed down? That was when.
No, there was a couple of seconds of sort of respectful silence.
Yeah. Okay.
You can see outside the first like fingers of dawn are beginning to come through the window though.
Cool. Quick, open it up. Get him out of there. He's trapped.
Lily has a look of like both shock and like I know what to do in this kind of thing. So she uses thaumaturgy to just smash open all the shuttered windows and just make the loudest noise she can so that everyone just pays attention to her. And then she goes, "Dearies, it's time for everyone to get the fuck out of here now. Go!" And just like shouts at them.
Intimidation, classic use.
You better do as the lady says. Can I give a help action with my +6 to intimidate?
I think, yeah, go for it.
25 with a natural 20.
25 with a natural 20. Okay,
was
so the run-of-the-mill townsfolk like evacuate. Like this is this is a military town. Even the civilians understand the chain of command, and this was a divine command. Like this was the kind of thing that is in all capital letters and you don't ignore. And so people just begin to sort of spill out into the street because you can still people crowding the windows and peering in.
Like she would go, "If you're not a soldier, dear, get the fuck out of your room now."
Yeah, and you're left in here with maybe a dozen of the top brass. The 2 guards who were on the door who actually carried the box in, and you guys.
Looks at the lowest ranking person, probably one of the guards. "Go give me a crowbar, dear. Snap to it now. Go."
You see a woman walks up who was speaking a minute ago. She's like in a long like split riding duster and a cowboy hat like a Stetson, and she basically just goes, "Oh fuck that," and like pulls a spear out of the grasp of like a suit of armor that is set up against the wall and just jams it in and begins to lever.
Okay, as soon as she's doing that, Lillian's got Eyes of the Grave ready, and she's probably got she's preparing something.
Sure. McLean, give me a hand over here. Roll scan. That's a natural 20. Yeah, the lid of the coffin goes flying and just hits the wall as the guy you met who was on the gate, Sergeant McLean, puts his weight also on the spear, and you see Carter Garland sit bolt upright in the coffin and just what the fuck is going on?
Is he undead?
Eyes of the Grave does not ping him as undead.
Oh, good for you, dear. You're not dead or undead.
Was I dead?
Probably, dear. Probably.
Could I see? Does he still have the claw marks and things?
He has, claw marks, but like silvery and healed, but scarred. He is still missing the full hand from about there. You can roll medicine if you like.
Oh yeah, I'm great at that.
Yeah, I know you are.
While he's rolling that.
5.
I mean, he's not bleeding.
Is there any, like, are there refreshments or anything laid out for the wait? Like, primarily water is what I'm looking for.
For sure, there'll be like a pitcher of water around here, yeah.
Can I just run up and hand that to the guy in the coffin who Carter, thank you.
He sort of takes it and like drinks like quite greedily, like someone who hasn't had a drink in a couple of days in the desert, and
Hi, dearie. Now, what's the last thing you remember?
General Chambers. We were on mission with General Chambers. The unit got attacked. We were out on the battlefront.
Dear.
I think he's dead.
Did we know that?
That tracks with what you were.
We heard there
told.
was one survivor
You told
who almost died just getting Carter's body back.
precisely that. Yeah. I don't remember much.
Is he trying to do that with the stump arm?
Yeah, he absolutely is. That's gonna take some getting used to.
Oh, never mind that. You'll pass. Little wound.
Yeah, I can say you probably all see that. Like,
Will
Will
just
looks ruefully at his own hand.
just puts it away and is. It's a big robot hand.
So Karen.
Okay. Well, dearie, so the last thing you saw was the general and then blackness. Yes, dear?
I know there was an explosion. I think it was.
I'm less concerned with the circumstances of your death and the bit that came
I know
after it.
There was. There were Ulpa there. Roll me history.
Not 20.
Fuck yeah. Ulpa are one of the 11 tribes of Kyoto. They, if you go onto the Evola map a second, the
Hang on.
majority of the western half of Volan is completely unexplored by humans. You can see Ulpamak over there, which is the Ulpa capital. They are renowned for high magic. Each of the tribes has something that they sort of specialize in. Like the Reba, who are some of the humans' allies, they're brilliant illusionists. The Kitsa, who live on Mackinac, which is quite nearby you guys, they are sort of druids and they tame beasts and various things. The Ulpa, magic, powerful magic, and not necessarily the good kind.
Like I was saying, dearie, I don't much care about the circumstances of your death. I mostly care about the bits that come after.
I
Just blackness, dear.
don't remember anything.
You don't remember a thing.
I mean, I feel hungry and thirsty. How long has it been?
3 days. 3 days, I think.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So you guys were traveling for about 2.5, and he died about roughly a day before
It's
that.
about 3 days. 3 days of being dead will do a lot to
You
you.
got any food?
I have some
Presumably
I have some
someone
cookies
hearing
to
Oh,
that
yeah.
runs off to get food for this hero.
Yeah.
Who's miraculously back from the dead.
Yeah, basically. Colonel McCoy, who is the lady in like the split duster and actually has like bars across the epaulets. So like anyone who is sort of tangentially familiar with military rank, you definitely will be, having spent some time around the battlefront. She's very much the highest ranking person here.
What kind of explosion was it?
Magical, I think.
She's feeding him a cookie. Cookie.
Oh, thanks.
It's freshly
Yeah, he like hawks it down. It's not like graceful nibbling. This is. This guy's hungry.
I don't have any milk here. You got to go slow or you'll choke.
Thanks. That's. Sorry. What's your name, ma'am?
Oh, my name's Lillian.
Carter Garland.
Colonel Garland. Hi,
Yeah,
dear.
shakes and. Yeah, and McCoy, who's the colonel, steps up. Okay, this has been a morning. Thank you for bringing Carter back.
To clarify, dearie, we brought the body here. This
Oh,
whole
I
message
know.
has nothing to do with us.
Sure.
I'm not about to claim divine resurrections.
Look, I know you've had a journey. We'll get him cleaned up. We'll take him to his mom. For now, go to there's an inn called the Spur up the top of the hill. Tell me your rooms are paid for in the house. Sort of pulls out like basically a military chit. You get the feeling that military chits will work for any store in this town. And this one is written out for the Spur for like rooms and room and board and stuff.
Oh, that's very
We'll-
kind of you, dear.
We'll talk later. No offense, I got bigger fucking problems right now.
Well, yes.
Before he cuts us out, can I actively cast, so not ritual cast it, detect magic?
Yeah, for sure. You see that Carter was sort of laid in his coffin with like a saint kind of with a sword down. You see his sword is like a gold hilted saber, which is definitely magical. What else would you see that's magical? Like there's a faint glow off of Augustine.
But Carter
Like
himself.
a couple of weapons around the room are a bit magical. Carter himself,
Not
yeah,
really.
nothing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's no magic at all pinging off him.
And the coffin?
Nor the coffin. Other than the sword, which is glowing like pretty bright. It's sort of like an eagle, like decorative eagle, kind of gold eagle on the hilt, and then long straight, sort of silvery blade. Yeah. Okay. Get the fuck out.
I just want to say one more word, Mr. Garland, before I go.
Yeah, he sort of turns around.
So I lean down because he's probably still like sitting in the pine box.
He
really.
very much is. He's sitting in his coffin.
Dearie, I would think whatever god, goddess, or being out there brought you back to life, because the old woman doesn't usually relinquish her charges. So say thank you.
Yeah.
Good boy. Pats him on the head.
Yeah.
Gets off.
Carter is maybe like 25. He is not. He's not an old dude. He's. You can see he's got like. He's got basically the muscle and the handsome face of a paladin. Even if he doesn't necessarily have the class levels, that's very much the vibe you get off him with like the Asimov bloodline and stuff. Or he's one of the children in this setting. Yeah, and you are like shuffled out onto the street.
Willard's already outside.
Yeah, fair. You can see, people are crowded around every window of this building trying to peer in to see what's happened. And they sort of like, a couple of them like look at you guys and aren't really sure what to do.
Get out of here, dearie. He's an invalid. He's resting. Go.
Roll me intimidate again.
I'm just going to put my hood up this time.
Yeah.
Be inconspicuous.
Sure.
Ooh, not as good this time. 8.
Like without that sort of thaumaturgic blast of
Grandmother
compulsion,
energy.
yeah, big grandma energy, yeah. It doesn't sort of take like a couple of people sort of like, oh, well, I guess, but like, and then most people sort of like look at you and sort of like, I'm less scared of you than I am interested in the situation. But they do sort of like somewhat clear a path for you to get through. So
For pity's sake, leave him alone. He's had a long night, apparently.
yeah. So Fort Morgan, cobbled streets leading up in a sort of if you go back to the picture again.
Just trying to find my mouse.
Sure. You can see that like the city exists in sort of multiple tiers. Like down here next to like the gatehouse and the walls, it's all like pretty flat, but it does go up to a hill above. And you can see this place has like amenities that like you would expect of a bigger city, but not necessarily a city of this size. For those of you who grew up in Ulster or the Traveled or other areas, it has like streetlights. It has like wells like dotted around. There is enough water here. Whether that is natural from an aquifer or created magically, you can't sort of tell. You can't see the equipment that's creating the water if it is. But everything here is laid out as kill boxes, basically. This is a city that was designed and built for trouble. As you head up, you can see, like there are. As you get maybe a couple of 100 feet away, word is clearly spread, and whereas all of the bells in the city and the various churches and temples were doing a sort of slow, mournful bong, bong, like a toll of the dead without the cantrip. It is peals of joyous like dun 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 dun. That like full like post-wedding kind of like jubilation. And you get the sense, even though you guys are dog-tired having travelled through the night to get here, there is a city-wide party about to happen. Are you guys heading straight up to the spur, or are you sort of diverting elsewhere? It's entirely up to you.
Oh, dear, me old bones. I think I'd like a rest. I'd like to go head up to the nice inn and have a nice roast dinner, I think, and have a good sleep.
It is fully 9 a.m. I'm not saying you can't.
Just a little rest for me old bones.
Do the city guards look like they've also been drawn towards?
The guards have actually probably stayed in place. Like the hierarchy is in place here. Probably roll insight. Why not?
Yeah, go on. That is.
You're trying to inspect some of those shield generators, aren't you?
You can't prove that.
Yes, I can.
9.
9. The guards don't seem to have wandered away. Maybe they don't care. Like, that seems a bit rude, but never mind. But yeah, they're all. The guards are all.
Possibly.
That's very much like like they value commitment to the, their orders and stuff. That's the best way they saw fit to honour Carter rather than joining the welcoming party. But now that you can see that news is beginning to spread.
The nice colonel said he'd come and get us when he was ready anyway, so we may as well take the niceties that he's been offered. A free meal.
Colonel Goy is a woman. Prosperity McCoy is her name.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
So McLean is the sergeant. The colonel is McCoy.
Right.
The Muck double name is something I said I was going to fix in the second Iterations campaign because many people have made that mistake and I forgot. Yeah.
Okay. The nice lady said she'd come and get us when she was ready, and she knew what was going on. So that's when we were going to get paid. So we may as well take the effort and the offer of nice hospitality. That's all I mean.
Don't turn down a free bed.
Is that actually because we got given the credit note already? Is it
You have the
to
credit-
give it to a specific person,
so
or can we redeem
what you
it?
would have to do is get it like notarized by someone in charge.
Right.
That wouldn't necessarily, and probably wouldn't be Colonel McCoy, because as she said, she's got bigger fucking problems on her hands. Even before, like, miraculous resurrections, she has bigger problems on her hands, like running the city, and the fact that this is, like, not super far outside of the actual war zone. Like, Fort Morgan does get attacked on the reg. But yeah, if you could if you want to go now and try and find, a higher up to sign off, like some of the like brass who were in there as this conversation happening are sort of spilling out at the same time. So if you want to corner one of them, you're more than welcome to.
Gold in my pocket is worth better than the piece of paper in my pocket.
And is the is the chit that we got given different from the promissory note?
The promissory note is pure money at the bank. The chit is paid up service at the pub for room and board, which the pub can then go back to the treasury and get the money, reclaim the money at a later date.
Kind of like a voucher.
Yeah,
It's got very
exactly that,
specific
yeah.
use. Okay.
You can see like a couple of captains. There's like one major as well, and a bunch of like second lieutenants are sort of. There's like splitting off into a couple of groups. There's some like chatting to each other. There's some that are going off in a particular direction. Others are individually dispersing over the place.
Did we get individual promissory notes? Or is
Yes.
there, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not going to just waltz off with everyone's share.
No, you've been handed individual.
And then we meet Rich's real character.
who is the money mimic. Sorry, please continue.
So I will probably try and. So you say about wanting to go to the.
Because we have the chit dear.
Also, we've been up all night.
We have, but I'm sure there's going to be further action to come, and I'd much rather complete one goal before we start another. I'd like to draw this business to a close before we take on more business.
You'd rather have the money in the bank, dear. I understand. Money in the hand. That's fine. We can go talk to one of those strapping young lads and lasses over there. One of them is probably happy to sign off on it.
Would you like me to help assist you with yours? I'm
I'm
happy
happy
to
to
do
walk
so.
over with you. How's
Yeah,
that?
I'll walk with you, but I'm only half paying attention to what you guys are talking about. The other half is again.
Eye on the prize.
I on the watches.
What are you staring at, girl?
It's like, like if you reverse the etheric couplings and double back the power feedback loops into the arcane crystals, you could definitely get that to turn to a laser.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I'm saying.
I'm thinking like a repulsion grenade. Or
Yeah.
something.
Cool.
Strategically detonate certain parts of the city to save the rest of it. From
From
something.
From something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You basically head up to like the nearest one, or are you looking for a particular type of
Someone
person?
who's got at least some ranks on their
Cool.
badge.
There's a guy who has like captain's bars, which is like the same rank
Can
as.
I help him
Castle.
find the highest rank he finds? Because the higher the rank, the easier this is going to be, probably.
Yeah, for sure. In which case, there is a major who has like the full like chevrons and everything.
That one.
He is clearly got some giant blood in him because he's brick shit house, like 7 foot tall, covered in tattoos, and like has. You're familiar, like the Fort Morgan irregulars are so called because there is no formal kind of dress or uniform or weaponry. This guy is wearing like gladiator armor, like you would use to like fight animals or something, and is there just like mostly bare chested except for like weirdly spaced bits of like strategic spiked armor. He's just chatting to one of the captains as you.
Excuse me, good sir.
Hey. Sure. Yeah, you.
We're the talk of the town right now.
Well, yeah. Well, you're not the talk of the town. In fairness, but
We brought the talk of the town.
you certainly brought the talk of the town back with you.
I know. It's
I guess
very
we're
exciting
technically
stuff.
messengers then.
Can I help you?
Yeah. The good captain who sent us on our way, he gave us these notes and.
You want them signed off?
Yes, please.
Sure. You got a pen?
I'm sure I have a pen.
You definitely you have a pen. You have like a fountain pen, like with it, yeah.
Monogram.
Like that's like a. It wouldn't be like super expensive, but it's something that not everyone would bother to get. Yeah. And he very happily signs off. His name is Ezekiel Elvarescu is the guy's name. And yeah, he signs off the check. It says, yeah, sure. So the bank is if you go to the top of the hill, there's like a turbine, like a windmill, and just past there, it gives you directions to the bank.
Can we get all of ours signed?
You certainly can. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, more than happy to. Like, it's a pittance from the treasury compared, but you know.
Thank you, dearie. That's very kind of you.
You're very welcome, man.
Just up by the turbine, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, do you use that for power generation, or is that?
Yeah, for like the streetlights.
Nice, cool. Right, off we go.
I'm just gonna follow her real quick.
Roll like perception investigation, your choice.
Investigation. I don't even know what I have. Oh yeah, 21.
You clock him clocking you.
Yeah.
You can see that he has like 2 weapons on his back. He's got like an axe, but he's also got like a big like runed staff with lots of like tiny minute carvings in. You reckon that might be from some form of spellbook.
If it's been less than 10 minutes, I assume it's still lighting up.
Yes.
Technogic.
It lights up in the way that an arcane focus would light up, but not.
Cool.
So this is like basically an unorthodox spellbook variety. Yeah.
Cool.
He's welcome to roll insight on Will, as Will moves in just behind Miz.
Ooh. Okay. What'd you do?
If he rolls well, then it would be a case of he knows that Will is there to keep an eye on Miz. Make sure that she doesn't get into anything that she shouldn't be.
Brad, can I get you to confirm?
Natural 20 or natural 2?
It was neither of those.
Oh.
It was natural.
Yeah, it was natural. Just not 2. Down.
If anything, only half as good as that.
Oh.
So.
It looked like a 2 from him.
Yeah. He clocks Miz and like looks concerned, but yeah. There's a light in your eyes that tends to unsettle people. Is what I'm saying.
Will is used to that light, hence why he was moving in to keep a firm grasp on her if needed.
Cool. What are you guys doing?
Heading towards the back.
Cool. You head up the hill. Yeah, you can see there are a number of these like basically it's wind powered wind turbines. All they do is like charge up crystals to make the streetlights glow.
Ooh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Would we have gotten a short rest over the last bit of the journey?
No, we kind of plowed on.
No,
we kind of just like
we went straight there basically.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we're in need of a long rest.
Yeah, so you can see there's various like open wells which they're like full like bucket on a chain and stuff, and like these little wind turbines which power the streetlights. You get a sense that this is what you're on a look at, even with like any passive check you make. You don't think that these wind turbines have nearly the power to.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It's not close. You would need hundreds of these in parallel.
That's not what they're pairing. I kind of lose interest and then focus on the bank stuff. So
you head up to the bank. It's an easy job. You have signed promissory notes signed by a high-ranking member of the military here. Probably not like the second in command, but like the third or fourth or something. Yeah.
Whoops. What did I do there?
You head into the bank. It's an easy transaction. You end up with, it was like 15 gold?
15, I don't know, it was each or
15 a piece, because it was above going rate for 5 gold a day, essentially. Feel free to add like 15 gold to your currency.
I do.
Yep.
Can you give me a receipt, dearie? I need it from my books.
Yep. God bless you. We stand grandmas in this house.
My grandfather, every single time he went into a bank, stamped his checkbook every single time, got a receipt every single time, even though all of it was digital.
I will send you the song later, Keep Your Receipts, which is a great song. There's unless anyone has any particular business in the bank,
Is it an actual bank, or is it like the military's sort of?
A little of both. You get the sense that probably the military treasury is stored here.
Yeah.
There's security out the wazoo. Like, you're used to this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is a private enterprise, even if the military's treasury is probably stored here. Or at least some of the military's treasury is stored here.
Well, I've heard of them. If they're a private company.
They're probably the Fort Morgan Bank. They are local. They wouldn't be. They are a savings bank rather than an investment bank, which is more your kind of your people. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you may roll me history. That's basically the.
That is a 14.
You haven't heard of them particularly, but you run in different circles, so it's not
Sure,
super
sure.
surprising. What would you like to see?
Once we've collected that, I'll probably be heading to our rest place.
I think I know what feat I'm going to get when we get that high. I'm going to take Keen Mind, because you always know which way is north.
Don't you? Isn't that also you?
Remember everything.
You remember everything you've seen. So you just install more RAM.
Always know the number of hours left before the next sunrise or sunset.
Yeah.
So I've got in the top right corner.
System
I've got this
clock.
little.
You got a clock now.
I've got a little clock. But not even that. I've got a little sunrise, sunset, and full sun and full moon little circle on the outside of the mini map.
User.
Mm.
None of the rest of you hear this. Is
Yes.
Yeah. These people are utilising precursor technology.
Precursor technology.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Is he speaking out loud?
No.
No, this is
Okay.
telepathic.
No, that's when I don't use the old man voice.
Okay.
This is my internal head talking.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so can you see where it's coming from?
I can see only the information your eyes provide me.
Okay, can you extrapolate where it might be coming from? Where they might have gotten a hold of it? Going to be looking around to give.
Yeah. As you glance up at one of the shield generators, you hear the voice say, I believe this to be scavenged technology from Project Eichner.
Project Eichner. Okay. Do we? Are you able to tell me anything about Project Eichner? Suspected location.
Project Eichner was not part of my network.
Okay. Do you think it came from a sub-site or a main site?
Project Eichner is not part of Project Immortal.
Oh. But it was still based on Vola. I thought all of this stuff was connected.
You thought it correctly.
Okay. I will see if I can get Miz to. I'll see. I'll try to talk to someone to see if I can find out more about where it came from, and I'll see if I can get Miz to track where it might be going.
Very well.
I assume that you're interested in networking with it.
First priority is re-establishing contact with other Immortal sites and sub-sites. You may continue. Cool. Yeah, so you
I
are...
appreciate we couldn't hear any of that, but I love that you're giving him sass.
Yeah. Oh, you wait. Yeah, so you...
Just hear a weary sigh from Will.
What's the matter, really?
Oh, just, what's the phrase? The monkey I've got on my back.
She doesn't look that bad, dearie. She's just a little exuberant, that's all.
Oh, no, don't worry. She's fine.
And you have another monkey.
I am not a primate user. You can hear implicit threat in that sentence.
I was using a metaphor.
Silence.
Does-
Cold
does-
silence.
Does he go glassy-eyed every time?
What do you think? I think you wouldn't be able to hold a conversation while this is happening.
No. I don't go glassy-eyed, but I do. My eyes do slightly lose focus.
You're concentrating on something pretty hard. Yeah.
Back to living, dear. Go on.
Sorry, just on death's door or something, I guess.
He sniffs the air, looks at you for a second. Oh, no, dear, not yet.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
You're not that old. Not yet, anyways. You'll be fine for another... Well, don't worry about it that much.
I will point out again, he looks very decrepit.
Yeah, that's why she didn't give you a number.
Roll me medicine.
Sure. Boop. No, that's not. Medicine is 9.
Any day now.
that tracks with the... You'll be fine here. Sure,
You
you'll
think you
live...
might have had some kind of transient ischemic episode there, where you just sort of glassy-eyed and...
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Not knocking on heaven's door.
Oh dear, if that's where you
Cool.
get
You
headed.
guys reach, in essence, you're headed elsewhere. You reach the Spur. It is a full Old West saloon, like skipping doors, dust and sawdust on the floor. There's a full, like, give me a second. I got something for this. I'm still not used to this.
There is practice makes perfect.
Hmm.
But at some point, I'm going to also pull Miz aside and ask for a quick chat. But we'll wait a second.
Cool. You head into the Spur. You can see it is. This place wouldn't be bumping at 9:15 in the morning usually. But as I say, there is party atmosphere in the air. A bona fide miracle has taken place. And you guys walk in. Yeah, there's people sort of drinking and celebrating. You can see behind the bar there is a blue-skinned frog in like a little white shirt and an apron. Standing on a stool behind the bar to be able to reach over the top. It says, how's it going? Come in. Can I get you a drink?
That would be lovely, I think, yes.
What you looking for? Got wine, got ale.
Do you have any whiskey?
Yeah, can have a look. He sort of dives, sort of like torso first into a cupboard, and you see his little legs sticking out as he sort of clink, clink, clink bottles. Comes out holding a bottle of fairly dog shit whiskey. Sort of pops it on a bar, pours a glass.
How clean is the glass?
The glass is as clean or dirty as you wish it to be. But I think we all know the answer.
Yes, I'm not going to say any more than that.
Yeah. So you can see that the whiskey is whiskey. It's made of whatever. You can also see that there are like the local brews. Most of the stuff here is made out of either cactuses or chilies, which does give it a fairly distinct taste and is powerfully alcoholic. Cactus beer is kind of like foamy. It's basically like pulped cactus innards. So it is like a sort of like slush puppy consistency, but with a sort of a sort of 4-5% beer kind of.
And warm.
Kept pretty cool actually.
Oh, okay.
It comes from it's kept in a cellar when it's not down here, so it is at least
Okay.
it's cool and refreshing, but not it's not served warm. Put it that way.
I'm just wondering how much a slush puppy machine would set me back.
What, in real life?
In real life.
Less than £100.
This is a man who's looked.
That is a man who's done research.
Do you do milkshakes?
Yes. Yes, we do. He like goes and gets like some milk from the. Like, basically, like, there's a little like bar hatch, like a little set of stairs down. He goes down and comes back with like a pail of milk that was probably going to be used for like turning into butter, or milk doesn't keep, and also cows are prohibitively expensive to keep in the desert.
Well, my assumption wouldn't be that it was cow's milk.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Beetle milk.
This actually, beetles do not produce milk, my friend. This is probably raw nature.
Can I just tell, like, with an insight check of 17, that this guy is just trying to sell whatever he can to anyone. So he will say yes to anything.
You suspect and are vindicated in your suspicion that what he's about to do is get some milk and physically shake it and then give it to Miz.
Yeah.
What this probably is sorry, what's the...
It was a 9.
9. It's milk. It's not really milk. It's weirdly like pinkish in colour.
Before you go too far, my dear, so what was your name? I'm sorry, I don't want to insult you by calling you Mr. Frogman, but you're Frogman.
Oh, my name's Anton.
Anton, dearie.
What's going on?
I dearie.
I'd shake your hand, but poison skin, you know.
Oh, dearie, do people lick you?
Only if I ask nicely.
Oh, well, maybe later, dearie. I'm a little old for that kind of behaviour. Back when I was younger, maybe.
Yeah.
But I can't help but notice you're quite eager to please. We only have these chits, you see, so I don't know how.
You sort of extend the hand.
Yeah, I hadn't do.
Oh, that's carte blanche. What you want? I'll get it from the treasury later.
Okay, dearie. There, have your milkshake, whatever that is, dear.
The milkshake would probably set you back like a gold or something for this amount of milk. Realistically, this probably is coming from one of the Coyotl's massive war bison, which are like partly elemental and have like stone plates across their skin instead as well as fur.
Is the milk chunky?
The milk is chunky. Like, weirdly though, the shaking does help disperse the chunks. It's not the worst thing in the world.
So
I came back in at the wrong moment.
my objective is not to drink this. Is it cold?
Yeah. Like there are one of the amenities that magic has been able to provide Fort Morgan is limited refrigeration, especially in like bars and pubs.
Yeah, no, bars and pubs,
which can afford like a little bit of extra. Yeah, there's some limited refrigeration. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. Slides over this sort of still slightly chunky glass of very sweet taste. It's not like sour or off milk. It's designed to be this flavour and consistency, and pours it into like a glass and slides it across the bar. And for yourselves?
Something finer than that, whiskey, good sir.
Military is paying for it,
if the Treasury's paying for it.
I can have a look. Sort of dives in and comes up with. See, we're way out. We're hundreds of miles out in the desert here. In Harlem, you can get nice whiskey. He basically comes out with a bottle of whiskey slightly nicer than the one he gave Will. Whiskey vintage is a cactus wine if you want some of that.
I'd like a gin and tonic, dear.
Goes in, pours gin and tonic.
Do you have any ice? No, it's okay. It's okay.
Sorry,
I
can make it like cold, but I can't freeze it. So
okay, that's lovely. That's lovely.
But Chit say you got a room, so I can get the keys for you, alright?
That'd be
Room or rooms?
Rooms. Yeah.
A room each, then. Yes.
Yeah. So he pulls. There's a big wooden board with little hooks and then a key on each board, and he sort of pulls off like a sequence of numbers, like 17, 18, 19, 20, and hands each of you a key. Says, if you want me to take you upstairs, show you around, so you can dump your stuff and then come back down if you want.
Either way.
Yeah. He sort of hops, so you'll almost certainly be familiar with Rana, which are basically Gromit in setting. They are small-sized frog people with big hops and poisonous skin. So why one would choose to go into the service industry is anyone's guess. But
do they need to do the whole like submerge themselves occasionally?
They absolutely do. And as you walk past some of the rooms, there is basically a corridor with barrels lined up across one edge. And you see that 13, 14, 15 and 16 are barrels with like a nice like latch on the lid that you can go in the barrel and latch the lid shut from the inside.
Right.
So these are the Rana rooms, basically. And you can see like some of the other rooms. There's like there's 2 rooms that are sized for giants in case any giants come stay. Giants in this setting, Goliath size, so like 7 to 12 feet kind of thing, not like fire giants. But yeah, it leads you in, and basically there is a little. You each have like 2 keys on your ring. You'll have 1 copy of the same key, which enters a little like atrium, and then there are 4 doors off that, and there's a little communal sort of what's the word? Common room between the 4 with like a fireplace and chairs, and then the rooms themselves are just like a bed and a basin. But yeah, and it says, okay, feel free. You people just arrived in the city, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Do you want any food? Because I can put some on.
Oh, I'd love some tea. What do you have? Nice to
We've got a lot of ants.
ants.
Aye,
Ants.
not ants, ants.
Ants.
It's the difference between mass and count nouns. We got a lot of ants, not a lot of ants. You ever eaten ant?
No, dear, you haven't.
By ant, I assume he means like
The
cow-sized
insect.
Giant
ant.
ant, yeah.
Yeah, the insect, yeah.
It's a bit difficult to get much else than the. I mean,
Well, I'm sure it'll be
we had
fine.
some sausages about 4 months back. That was a real night. Aye.
Is he showing us to our rooms individually? Or is
No,
it-
He's just taking us to the common.
he's taking you to the common room, and then because you are a party of 4, he's giving you the common room with these 4 rooms.
Cool.
They are sort of for whoever wants to take each of them. Yeah.
It's nice, a nice little fireplace.
Yeah,
cold.
I'll have some. You said that people could lick you if they asked nicely.
Aye.
How bad is this poison, dear? Just
And
unrelated
she'll-
question.
Roll nature.
She'll hold up.
Unrelated.
Uh,
We're talking contact
15.
high.
Okay. Depending on the colour of the frog, it varies, but you're at least getting 2d4 poison damage and poison for an hour if you fail the save.
so she.
It could.
But that's
it could
not
ki-
what we asked. That's
So she holds up a glass vial and goes, do you mind? And indicates in like a scooping motion.
Roll persuasion. It's not going to be an easy check.
Ooh,
Lillian has a cocked eyebrow.
ooh, that is a 19. That's 2, so that's 21.
Yeah, fuck it. He's sort of like it's not like a usual request, and it's a bit like personal, but he does sort of like take the vial and he sort of puts it in his armpit to one of the poison glands and sort of like squeezes a little vial of poison. It's like not going to be enough to like coat a weapon or anything,
Oh,
but
no.
there's a little
Yeah.
bit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll clap her hands, thank him, and she might as well. She'll pay him a gold as well to say
Oh,
thank
twice. Cheers.
you. Okay.
Yeah, and he heads back downstairs to sort of like prepare a bit of food and stuff. You can hear more people are entering the bar at this point as well. There's like a honky tonk piano is starting out downstairs, like the real sort of like there's a couple of notes that are just too off key to be palatable, but it is not having any effect on the person who's playing the piano. Cool. If you guys want to take your long rest now, you are more than welcome to. Obviously, like if you're pushing through the rest of the whole day, you're probably going to be rolling con saves versus exhaustion. But you've been up all night. You've got a bit of money. You got in a safe place with stuff. So you want to do long rest? You can all take a long rest.
So she will eat/drink half of the milk, and then just face plant the bed and fall asleep.
Whilst you're eating, drinking half the milk, then
Yes.
Will is going to ask, Miss, have you seen the technology that they have?
The shield generators.
Tell
Oh,
me,
yes.
do you know much about a thing called Was it Aisha?
Eichner. Aeschna.
Project Aisha.
You haven't heard of it?
Yeah, I was just going to say no. Doesn't know.
Okay, never mind. If you find anything out about the technology, then I would be very interested in finding out more about it.
It's not a martel.
I think it might be similar but distinct.
Are you two having this
Yeah, I was
conversation?
going to say, are you having it
room?
in the common room? Or you get,
So he's come into my bedroom, presumably, because that's where she's
Okay.
eating and drinking. So yeah.
Just like leaning on the door frame like a dad, just like, hey champ, you got any more of that ancient precursor technology?
Yeah. Hey, you're winning.
Oh, you're
son.
winning, son.
Oops, I stopped you.
like, are you subtle about this? Do you immediately pull Miz to the room and have a chat, or?
Yeah, that
It's
would be
very
my.
appropriate that the old man is going in with the young girl. It's a bit off, don't you think?
To avoid impropriety, he might leave the door open.
Is there?
Oh,
a,
okay.
In
Yeah,
that case,
right.
I want to roll perception.
What's
Yeah.
your passive, honestly?
That's fair. That's fair. It is 14.
Mine is
14.
also 14.
14.
So
I'd say you would notice that Will has gone in there, but you're not like eavesdropping the conversation. If you want to, you like 14 will you will notice if you want to like sneak closer and eavesdrop, you're more than welcome to.
what tone are you
only
setting?
a
Like,
little
is
bit.
this in a hushed voice, or are you just talking normally?
His normal voice is a hushed voice.
Yeah.
Because he talks like this, yeah.
So if you haven't made any special extra effort, then when she gets excited, so the words, without even having to roll, I'd say she's loud enough that you can hear the words shield generator and then not a martel are probably the two things that you would catch without even having to, unless you've like put your fingers in your ears or something.
I think Lillian's like sitting in her bed about to go to bed, and then she kind of just hears like the door on the other side open. She just kind of like leans over, kicks her own door just to see what's happening. And it's like, that's very inappropriate, dear. Shouldn't be going in a young lady's room. And then hears a monologue. Like, what the hell is that?
Roll history.
15.
Easy, and both of those are good enough to know what a martel is, or at least have heard of it. You're not like showing the details. Project O'Martel, O'Martel Sites, O'Martel Tech, all of these are sort of interchangeable words. It is some form of technology left behind by whatever race of people lived on Volan before it sank beneath the waves thousands of years, tens of thousands of years ago. And, you know, occasionally bits of it get unearthed. Occasionally bits of it cause problems. But yeah, it's
Okay.
it's technology. Yeah. Very highly magical technology, but still based in science rather than.
And extremely advanced
Yeah,
for
yeah,
anything else. Okay.
Have you seen the power source yet?
No, I couldn't see much of anything.
No, there's no way those wind turbines are powering those. I'd have it underground, tactical reasons. Even if it's collected from natural sources, you'd need some kind of massive crystal to hold that much power.
Underground, you say? Might be worth asking. We've probably done some good graces with the higher ups here. Might be worth asking about ancient precursor tech sites in the area.
The guards didn't leave their posts. That's the only thing I'd say.
Okay, why don't we try the diplomatic route first?
And then nick everything that's not.
That way we don't have to run out of here in a hurry, and we don't have people wanting us. We don't have any more dead or alive posters put up anywhere.
I suppose we can try it your way. Yeah.
I wish I fucking eavesdropped now.
Roll me a perception check.
That would be 14.
Yeah, so you guys like it's a bit weird sleeping in the middle of the day, but you know, adventurers.
Well, we're so tired at this point as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
Yes.
the weirdest thing you've had. It's not the weirdest
Sleeping.
position you've had to sleep in. Once again, anyone watching will realise that he just sleeps like this.
Is there a
Well,
rock,
assuming
is
we're
there a
gonna-
rocking chair and a big rifle I can hold?
Right. I do have to ask the question because she's tired, but if you remain just stood motionless,
It's like, oh, that's a hard sleep.
No,
That
he
is-
Absolutely.
goes back to
Yeah,
his own room.
Yeah, there's for sure a rocking chair, or rather, there is a rocking chair in the common room that you can drag into your room like easy.
No, I
access.
think I will lie on the bed.
Yeah. And visions of sugar plums dance in your head.
But what I really need is some
So-
sleeping
I
sunglasses.
assume there's no effect from the milk.
No,
Cool.
it's
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
weird bison. Do you know that yak milk can be pink in real life, which is why I made it pink?
I did not know that.
Hmm.
Cool.
Cool. Lillian, what do you dream about?
She probably dreams of the last time she saw her daughter.
Yeah.
That is probably a recurring nightmare.
It's not a happy dream.
Oh god, no.
Okay.
No.
Well, you don't dream.
You can move on.
Augustine. It can be nothing. You don't have to remember your dreams.
No, I think tonight has been. The last 3 days have been exciting enough that I would have these thoughts going from. I think I would remember a particularly challenging collection and how we had to maybe chase someone down to.
So it was an enforcement rather than a visit.
Yeah.
You got you. Okay.
I sort of, as I reach them, that's when I wake up.
Miss?
So probably be initially the shield generators. And
You dream in blueprints.
yes.
Shield generators dancing through your mind.
With little legs.
But then it would be the coffin, and then the banging, and then she's inside the coffin, and then she wakes up with a start.
Okay, fair. Fucking metal, love it.
Yeah.
Second point of inspiration, that was great. Cool. You guys awake probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The heat of the day is going now, although it's not fully gone.
Has the party been going on all day?
The party has only been increasing all day. Now, like, people are truly like kicking off work because people who didn't have anything to do today were like celebrating, but people who still had jobs to do have gone to the jobs. But most of those businesses are like closing down, and people have come home. So yeah, the bar is like fully bumping. So
When I get up, sort of put my feet off the side of the bed, and then reach over, take the business card, and put it face down on the bedside table or a table, and just sort of stare intently at it for 5 seconds, 10 seconds,
sure.
and then I'm assuming nothing happens, and then
Do you like highs or lows?
eyes.
Nothing. Cool. Yeah. You. Who do you think wakes and heads down first?
Will's
Probably.
awake.
Yeah,
That's fair. Cool. You head down to the bar. Sort of. You need to eat and drink. That's like sort of thing. So. You head down, sort of, get like more water. Like you have a basin in your room, but there's no like you get like a jug of water when you arrive, and you need to go down to the bar to get more and stuff like that. So you head down. The bar's like fully packed. There's like a bunch of soldiers in here, like low ranking, like privates and corporals and things. There's a decent number of Kyotl who have come here to trade. You can see there is. Like a real short guy sitting in a chair sized for a giant, wearing like a white suit, and the stringy bolo tie as well. But yeah, and Anton the runner is behind the bar as well. What would you like to do?
Well, I'll sit at the bar and get something.
Yeah,
Something non-alcoholic
Cool.
to start with. Water to refresh.
Yeah.
And just a little, a light snack type thing.
Yeah,
bar
there's
snacks.
like there's like bread and peanuts and stuff, and there are crops are still grown in the desert. It's just harder to. So mostly what you get out here is like hardtack and jerky and stuff.
No, get some water and some jerky, I think.
Sure. Who's next?
I think Lily probably,
Yeah.
based on
You
people wake up early.
for sure. You head down, you see the same thing.
So I think actually Lily waits for Misty to wake up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great
I won't
in
be
the
that
common
far
room.
behind you
There you
Okay.
based on the
So
full
Font of
dreams.
boundless energy.
go.
There's that and the bad dreams. Yeah.
So she, as Misty comes out, she goes, "Hello, dearie. I wanted to have a chat with you.
Sure.
Are you all right, dearie?"
She still looks a little startled from her dream. She kind of will give you kind of a half convincing nod, and then she kind of like will snap back in and then go, "Yeah, sure, Granny. What's up?"
Well, dearie, I see you're travelling with an older gentleman, dear, and I've seen this before a couple of times. I just want to make sure that everything is consensual here.
Consensual. So unless you properly brick an insight check, she has no idea what you're getting at.
That's fair, yeah. I think with passive you can clock that.
Oh, that
Yeah.
she's I don't. Well, you appear to be very ignorant and easily led down a garden path. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Not many gardens in the desert.
Okay, that's about right. Yep.
There's a lot of like cactus rockeries. Maybe that's what she's talking about. Yeah.
We haven't been to any of
Dear,
those.
is the old gentleman? Is he taking advantage of you in any way?
No, he sometimes a spoil sport and stops me launching things into the air, but not all the time. So it's quite fun.
I don't know whether to be less or more concerned anymore. I'm just confused, I think. Why are you travelling with the old man?
Oh, well, we were. Yeah, I got stuck in one of the cave places, and yeah, bumped into him, and it turns out we're kind of. Have you ever explored any of the Martel sites?
Explored is a word that I wouldn't necessarily use in my case. No,
It's
dear.
unlikely.
Explore is not the word.
Yeah.
Fallen into one and very quickly got out of one, maybe.
Yeah. Crazy dangerous, and it's always good to have someone watching your back. I watch his back, he watches mine.
Okay, dear. I understand then. It's a partnership of convenience due to a low amount of trustworthy individuals in these parts.
Just there aren't many people brave enough or stupid enough to go into the places. We are
Oh.
few and far between.
I suppose that is true, dear. I suppose that is true. I wanted to ask you one other small question, and it's just kind of an off-topic thing. Have you soon seen a pair of tieflings, gifted peoples? Horns, one kind of blue skinned, one kind of alabaster coloured.
What here?
Or anywhere, dearie. I'm looking for them. About the same age. Young.
Roll a d100.
89.
No.
They did 100, and they
If you hit 100, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, dearie, this is fine. It's perfectly fine. I just wanted to. Your friend, though, I wanted to ask you one final question about him. Have you noticed that sometimes he just goes a bit glassy-eyed?
Yeah, but that's a trick.
That's a trick, dearie.
Mm.
I think it's a medical condition.
Inspiration! Because that was a fucking lie.
No. He's having you on, and she will rummage it into her pocket and pull out a marker pen and hand it to you.
Alright, dearie, yes.
Suspiciously the same colour ink as what matched your face when you woke up after falling unconscious. But
I see, dearie.
yeah, but yeah, she'll hand you the marker pen and go.
Are you trying to confess to something here?
No. Next time he goes glassy eyes, tries drawing on his face.
It's a bit strange, but it's a fair test of any of cognitive ability, so I suppose it'll work. I'll give it a go.
You won't believe me otherwise.
Well, no, but when things happen to the older folk, sometimes we get a bit rose glasses. Rose glasses, I think, is the way of putting it.
I don't think he needs glasses. He can see fine.
I seriously doubt that at his age.
Well, can you have my perception?
ears are burning.
7.
Augustine, what are you doing?
I get out.
Think
Have you two gone at this point?
I think at that we're probably ending our conversation at that point.
Yeah.
You want to go downstairs to get a bit more
Yeah.
milkshake?
One question about the tieflings. Are you
Yes.
looking for them, or are they looking for you?
I hope looking for me, dear. But I am definitely looking for them.
You want to meet them?
Yes, dear.
Right, okay. I just could have built you something to escape quickly if they were coming after you. That's
No, dearie, they're not coming after me. I suspect the only reason they'd come finding me was that they'd give me a nice big hug
Ah, that's nice.
and perhaps some cookies. One night.
You like your cookies?
They are good cookies, dear. Would you like one?
Yeah.
Give her a cookie.
Now you got the milk.
The milk's a bit chunky.
Yeah. Well, that and it's because I assume the rooms aren't cool.
It's more of a spread at this point.
Yeah.
That's bit of butter. That's like butter, and don't put butter on cookies.
No,
Even
no.
cookies, yes. But
No. The rest of that I'm saving for later, for something else.
Never mind. I'm concerned about other things at the moment. Shall we go downstairs and have a bit more to drink?
Sure.
Yeah, you head down. Yeah, you can see the same thing. Augustine, you've been staring at your business card for a little while to see if there's anything that's come up, but nothing at the moment. You head down roughly the same time. You can see, Will's at the bar, sort of nursing a drink. Sort of
Will has been handed a glass of cactus juice.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm sorry.
Cactus juice or cactus wine? That's a very key.
Cactus juice, I guess.
Cactus juice.
And,
Fine,
and it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't ask for this.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah. You see an old man quibbling about an order, which. Yeah, and you can see, there's a number.
Do I see this?
Yeah, sure.
I will then nudge and go, maybe you were right.
We need to be watching and make sure.
Yeah, you can see so that you can see, there's a bunch of soldiers in here, a bunch of blue collar townsfolk. There's a good number of Kyoto, maybe 6 or 7. These big, lean, dog-headed humanoids, you can see like a couple of like individuals, sort of, but mostly it's sort of groups of people in here. Yeah.
And the mood is generally joyous and
The mood
celebratory.
the mood is vibing, to be honest. Yeah, like everyone's having a ball. Yeah.
Does it seem like they've been partying since 9 a.m. or?
I wouldn't say like partying, but there is.
'Cause these are like active on duty military. Right?
Some of them are. So you would say Fort Morgan is a town of maybe 2,500 people, maybe a little more. Of those, probably 800 are active soldiers, and probably about half of those are at the battlefront. So yeah.
Right.
Do the Coyotl, do they look like they're happy at the new news?
Roll me insight. That's what that's for.
New. 5 plus something. Where's insight? So that would be 7.
Okay. Oh yeah. So you can see, there's a couple of yellow robed Kyoto who are sort of by the fireplace. Who one of them is like playing like a pan flute, and the other is like orating a story, basically, like bardically orating. There are a couple of red and grey robed Kyoto who are sitting together, sort of quietly in the corner, not really doing much. And a couple of orange robed Kyoto who are at a table on like a mezzanine balcony, and sort of chatting to each other. Yeah.
But they're all keeping to them. There's no mixed groups.
The yellow robed Kyoto are certainly more. They're talking to everybody. Like that. You think it's probably a performance for the benefit of everybody in the bar, rather than the nearer Kyoto, the orange robed ones, are they're chatting with a human. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, there's a guy in a chair that is built for a giant, and he's like 5 foot dead. And they're all chatting together. And then I say these sort of very warlike red and grey robed Kyoto. So when I say red and grey, there is a group of them with red robes and a group with grey robes. They're
Right.
like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anyone obviously from the company?
From the fibre company?
Yeah.
Not in this bar.
Okay.
Yeah, no one wearing any insignia, no one wearing any colours or anything. Yeah. Anton, yeah, gives you another round of drinks through and sort of like kind of takes the cactus juice off of Will and stashes it under the bar for the next time someone wants cactus juice. Which maybe immediate or maybe 8 hours from now when it's got flies in it. But maybe that's a runner and that's what they're here for. Yeah. In fact, yeah, you can see like there are like different bar snacks laid out. There's like the regular sort of pub peanuts, but also like a big dish of like wriggling like mealworms and beetle larvae, and you can see one of the runner just sort of like with a big long tongue and grabs one of those out the dish. Yeah, it's...
And now I'm just imagining a Lady in the Tramp moment with 2 runner going for the safety
together. Yeah, we go. Yeah, it's sort of 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening. What would you like to do?
So
Will our chits get us an evening meal as well?
Oh yeah,
or
for sure.
Breakfast.
Yeah, the chits are good until like tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be like for the whole day, and then like check out would be like the next day. So
while we're eating, I just like kind of lean over to Anton Deary. I have a question for you.
Sure.
You see a lot of people come through and in and out here.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay. I was wondering if you'd seen a pair of tieflings that gifted horns.
What, with the children?
Yes, dearie, those ones. Alabaster skin.
I'm afraid not. It's not the kind of people you forget, really.
No, dearie, they're quite, loud.
When you say children, do you mean like kids or like the children?
Both.
Oh, okay. No, I'm afraid not. I can keep an eye out if you like, though.
Would that be lovely, dear, if you can?
Well, hearing this, do I recall reading any reports involving these 2 individuals?
You don't.
Have you joined us at this stage?
I came there very similar time to
Cool.
you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give you a moment to like wake up and adjust yourself, and then I'll kind of sidle up to you and go. So your company, you lend money out. Do you do assessments as well?
Assessments? What sort of assessments?
Well, if someone wants to borrow a loan to do something, do you assess the profitability of that?
No, why would I go prying into someone else's business? If they are interested in making money, who am I to be skilled in every profession or scheme or...
Well,
I hear many things. I don't have the time to assess each and every case.
Well, how do you know you'll get your money back then?
I don't. It's a chance for us to invest in future businesses, and some of them may be profitable, others may not, and as long as both parties are happy with the terms, who am I to say no to that?
Microloans over here.
So, you're a charity, or I don't like, or are the terms sometimes not that people pay the money back, not with money?
They pay us a little bit of interest over time, and sometimes that may be a very long time if they can't afford it or if their business falls through. They will pay us the money eventually, regardless of whether their business is profitable or not. But of course, every single person who comes to us, we hope will succeed.
You sounded very sure that they pay you back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what if the thing they're doing is very dangerous and they die?
That doesn't stop people before.
Go on.
Well, I mean, what if you had a child? Then they would be indebted to us, as an example.
That's just taking a turn.
We don't
I mean,
care who
not a
pays
hard
us the
turn.
money back, as long as the contract is enforced and the money gets to us eventually. Again, it varies person by person.
Okay.
There's an implicit, and sometimes that follows them beyond the grave.
Yeah.
You never said that.
No.
She's genuinely baffled but doesn't have the vocabulary to investigate further.
I'll try. I have the vocabulary to investigate further.
So do you bring them back to life so they can pay you?
I don't know.
That was the best possible response to that
It
question.
was, yeah.
Interesting. So does someone else then perform assessments on the business? The same person who might bring someone back to
Again, we don't perform assessments.
Oh.
We don't do that.
We don't.
Okay.
If you want to go to an assessment, if you want an honest appraisal of your business idea, we are not the bank for you. There are much bigger banks in the city that can deal with those sorts of requests.
Oh, no.
But let's say you had an idea to build, I don't know, you're looking at your rocket that you were building a couple of days ago. How would I assess that? I have no idea how a rocket works. At the same time, I want to help you, and you need the money to fund your investment, so why wouldn't I help you out?
Yeah. The rocket's yesterday's idea. No, I was just wondering if you knew how much it would cost to build, and then, like, she will lower her voice because she's not entirely, like, that stupid, one of the shield generators. And is there a window in this bar?
Yeah.
She will kind of nod towards the shield if we can see it.
You can see it out. You can see there are a number of them actually.
Yeah.
You can see them out through like the saloon doors.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Just wondered if you knew how much it would cost to build one of those.
I don't, I'm afraid.
Ah.
Happy to invest in the research of said activity.
You'd pay for it, or you'd loan me the money to investigate?
I would loan you the money to
Right.
investigate.
Okay, yeah. And she'll scribble some notes. I think I'm getting it now. Okay. Cool.
Device threat detected.
Sorry, what was that?
Device threat detected.
Context being.
You hear that in your head. Device threats detected.
Do I have any idea what device threat detected means?
Roll me perception.
Okay. That is a 19.
You've learned what the voice picks up on, the kind of thing, and also like spatially, you've learned to sort of tick your eyes back to what you were looking at just before. On the wall in the bar, there is a poster.
Okay, can I... Shit, I've got nothing subtle.
This is like you built a rogue, but all you have is explosives. And you went, whoops.
I mean, this isn't even my final form.
When all you have is a lot of dynamite, everything looks like a rock face.
You can still be stealthy if there are no witnesses.
Can I, roll deception
You want to try and be nonchalant?
to saunter over there? Stealth.
Can I roll an insight or a perception?
Oh shit!
Yeah, go on then. Yeah?
I'm rolling 2 dice.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just gonna use my passive.
22.
8.
Passive beats that. Okay.
You see Will, like...
Can I clock what he's going to go get?
You can see that he is going over to a piece of paper on the wall. I think you can see what's on it. Will, what do you do when you get there?
Study it
there
very...
is something on a notice board that Will is...
With a 22, can I
studies
see
it-
what it is before he gets to
it's a poster of a face.
He studies it very closely and tries to obscure it from anyone else who might be looking at
With the
it.
22, you still see that it... I don't know if you... Yeah, you're seeing it from across the bar, but you can see this is a wanted poster. Yeah, you get that much.
I'm just going to
With a
take
natural
it down.
Shit.
and a 14 stealth, I will zoom across using 2 dashes to get there.
You use 2 dash to get there.
So I watch, because that I beat that as well on my passive.
Yeah.
I see this go across and go, okay, that's stupid. And then I see this go across and go, oh no, this is entertainment. We sit and watch now.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Will is there sort of one hand on the poster sort of studying it, and you suddenly look around and Augustine is sort of like,
Scrunch it all up.
Yeah.
Very tempted to just shove it in his mouth.
That's how you start a bar fight, my dude.
It's tangled. That's what I was thinking
I'm
of there.
malicious, mean, and scary. My sneer could curdle dairy.
There's more like, and then there's the horse and just shoving the horse's mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like,
An opportunity?
no,
No.
no, not right now.
How much is the reward?
How much was the reward?
Not stated.
There was no reward stated.
They wanted him dead or alive.
Didn't specify.
Didn't specify.
You will have clocked that there was no organisation. This wasn't a notice from the sheriff's department. This wasn't a notice from like the guard or the anything like that. It was very nondescript. If that makes sense.
Given that he's
Okay.
like basically bolted from the chair when I was stood next to him.
Yeah,
With
like he left like a smoke outline of
Yeah.
himself.
with a 16 perception, what can I see is going on?
You can see like Will and Augustine having some kind of moment.
Will
Like,
looks very tense as well.
So I lean over to Misty and go, I think a banker's about to get leverage on somebody.
May I take a look?
But I don't. Do I see the paper?
I'd rather not.
Yeah, I would say you can see that you've got a scrunched up bit of paper. Yeah.
I need to speak to a frog about a man.
Hello.
There was a notice up on that board that's mysteriously vanished.
Hi.
Will still has it in his hand.
Yeah.
Don't suppose you know who might have put that up there?
I don't know. I don't know. Sorry.
How long has it been up?
Well, it's over that picture of the concert we had the other week, so I'd say less than a month.
But not within the last couple of days.
Probably not.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Could you want some snacks or drinks or
How about,
ammunition? You look twitchy.
well, we're inside a picket, so I think I'm probably fine on ammunition for the moment.
You're not wrong.
It'd be frowned upon to jump a fellow inside here.
Aye. Still happens though.
Yes, he was wanted, dearie. Then they might look the other way.
Well, hopefully we've earned some goodwill here.
Thank you, dearie.
I'm sorry, what?
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So I'd say around this time.
Oh, you see Will just put the scrunched up paper into his pocket.
Which pocket?
One that you can roll sleight of hand for.
Yeah. Around this time, you see like
Did you roll sleight of hand to try and pick the pocket?
No.
Okay.
I rolled for something else.
her attack roll to shoot the pocket. Drinking my lungs. Yeah. About this time, you see like a subaltern sort of run in like a runner with a note, saying hi. Yeah, and then sort of like remembers himself and sort of salutes.
At ease.
Thank you. I believe Colonel McCoy was requesting your presence back at the.
Oh, good.
Very good.
The good colonel's ready for us then. That's splendid. So splendid.
What's the protocol here? To send him off on his way to get on with the next task, or to?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's not a tipping economy. This is like a.
Well, it was more like does he accompany us there, or do we just send
I mean,
him off?
you know
going,
where you're
"Message received"?
going, so.
Would you like a cookie, lad?
Yeah, please.
Here you go, dear.
Cheers. Yeah, he takes a cookie and sort of like like puts it like unwrapped in a pocket.
She's pulling cookies from a bag in her thing. There's like two. There's actually like 2 bags of cookies. One is on the left, one is right. She always takes the ones from the left and hands it to people.
This feels like Ace out like shuriken between the fingers and flings them into the mouth of 8 separate orphans. So it's an invitation to appear at your leisure. Like there's no, you're not members of the Fort Morgan military. It's an invitation rather than a command.
But it's also polite to turn up sooner rather than later.
You would say that's not entirely wrong. Yeah.
I'll catch up, dearies. I just want to have one more drink before we go and have a quick chat with Anton.
Okay then.
What's up?
Once they're gone.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie Anton, do you happen to keep any of your secretions to the side for
I really wish people would stop asking me for my secretions.
The second time.
This is the second time in a day, and
it is, dearie, it is,
like,
dearie.
but
I'm an old woman, and I'm I used
I'm not
to
a young frog,
and I
but
used to do a lot of partying when I was younger.
you realise that actual toads you can go and lick. You can't just you don't have to lick a guy. I mean, I know there's no rivers around here, but how fucking desperate are you?
I know, dearie. In that vein, do you have something a bit stronger, something that'll give you a nice kick up the backside?
Cactus wine's probably the strongest we got.
Oh, I'm looking for something a little bit more poisonous, if you see what I mean.
It's pretty fucking poisonous.
Well, it is, dearie, but it's not going to knock you out if you ingest it. That's what
It will knock you out if you ingest it. I think you're really not getting what's underlying that.
Well, I suppose that's true then.
You don't have to have a lot of it, put it that way.
The problem is that the cactus wine is quite strong flavoured as well. I imagine you're a bit less, more subtle.
It tastes like being kicked by a horse.
Yes, and that's why I don't want that. It's too much. It's too much. I can't bake it into a cookie.
No, that's for sure. Yeah.
So I'm looking for something a
Well,
bit
you could,
more subtle.
actually.
I could, but everyone would know.
And no one would like it.
No, it's terrible.
Actually, he points to some of the proper barflies down the bar. I bet they'd like it.
I bet they would, dearie.
I
But
might give that a go. That might be a money spinner.
back to my question, dearie.
Yeah, sorry.
Do you have something like that? Something subtle that I can...
I feel like she's trying to knock out
It's not
Will to
really
see what
that kind of
happens.
establishment.
I know. Do you know
Fort
this?
Morgan isn't the kind of place, if you look at, we don't have much of an underbelly here, put it that way, because it's quite...
You have a bunch of military people that would kill everyone in sight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dearie, oh dearie. Well, can I have some of your secretions then?
Roll persuasion at disadvantage.
Sure. Okay. The lower, I think, is 13, so... 16.
He's really not happy about it, but
I'll give you a cookie. And my recipe.
Yeah, it just secretes a little bit into a vial. Again, not enough to coat a weapon,
Not enough to make a cookie poisonous, maybe.
maybe one cookie, and the DC would be lower than the Grung traditional.
Just
Yeah.
put it in the bag.
Yeah.
Thank you, dearie.
You're welcome. I feel...
Have a cookie.
You make me feel cheap.
I'll have a cookie, dearie.
Yeah, sure. He full tongue out and grabs the cookie.
And then I'm leaving.
Sure.
To it then.
Cool. You guys have been outside for a little while, so
I think we need to, over the course of this game, get every character to ask this guy for some solutions.
you can hear him inside as you leave. You guys can hear him through the window, talking to one of the real resident drunks. The worst bit is they call it secretions. I don't like it. Yeah, fair enough.
Barkeep, Goomy.
Goo.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Cool. Yeah, you guys. So everyone except Lily, you've been outside the bar for some a couple of minutes of conversation. You can see the streetlights aren't coming on yet. It's only sort of maybe 5:15 at this point. And in the desert, you still have this wash of ocean blue sky above you. Like there's not a cloud in the sky. But Lily rejoins you eventually. You guys gonna head over to the? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You head down down the sort of winding cobble streets. There's no one is like throwing up drunk yet. It's not like rivers of whiskey yet, but you know
It feels like it's going to be getting that way.
it might get that way. I mean, like Fort Morgan is kind of a work hard, play hard place, and you know, like there has been like there are rotations of soldiers that come, and like there wasn't one coming at the same time as you, or they would have sent Cartagana's body back with. But you know, the ones who are here maybe haven't been here long. Like they left like just before Carter died. So, nice. You head back down the hill through the cobble streets, and then to this squat, like blocky stone building. Again, this is one of the anyone who's proficient in Arcana can tell that this was built by like magic, like wall of stone sculpt. Someone who like they paid a wizard to make this building as like a fortification. You know, it's sturdily built around here. And you can see the same two guards on the door who sort of like do like a stamp and with the spear butt and sort of like raise them apart. Right?
Oh yes, dear. Thank you. We're here to see.
If you head in. So you head in. Like the room has been cleared where the table had been laid out like a bier, like an altar or like a dais for the coffin to go on. That's been like the table's back where it should be, like in the dining room and stuff. And there is like just a little sort of like receiving area for not like dignitaries, just visitors to the like you guys essentially. And you can see after a few minutes McLean, the like the big like ginger-haired guy with a huge rifle on his back. You can see that it Miz, similar vibes to the weapon that you conjure, in that it's got like
cool.
it is a straight rifle, but it does have like a mechanism on the side of it, which like you're not sure what it does, but it would make this a magical weapon.
It has been altered in some way.
Yeah, for sure. You right, lads? How's it going?
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, dear. You're perfectly fine.
Sergeant, hello. I think things are going well. It's nice to see the town in high spirits.
That it is. I thought it'd be a bit of a different mood tonight, so it's good to see you. Right, so a couple of messages from the colonel. Well, the general actually. Now the General James has passed, but she'll be. She's got a lot of paperwork to get done.
I'm familiar with paperwork.
Carter sends his regards. He's speaking with Ma right now, like very churchy woman, you know.
It's important to keep ties with the family where you can.
Yeah, sure, but no, he said to say thanks for bringing it back, and well, not bringing it back, but you know. You've been looking at my show generators.
They're very impressive.
Roll deception. Not quite. You're not quite lying, but he's trying to see through.
Yeah, sure. That is a nat 20.
All right. Thought you were a bit more interested, but.
Well, I'm actually quite interested in not necessarily the shield generators themselves, but things tied to them. I am something of an amateur ruin delver, you see.
Oh, boy.
And I am interested in finding more sites that I have not visited yet, and having an explore. You know, maybe I could find some great fantastical tech to bring out that would help benefit the war effort.
Roll deception. That's a half truth. So roll deception with an easier DC.
Can I roll
Can
an
I roll
insight to
insight?
get
Yeah.
a line on his questioning?
That's 25.
Yeah, like straight up.
21.
That's, he's real concerned about the war effort.
That is a nat 1 from nat 20.
You're on McLean's line of questioning.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out why he's asking about my interest in the shield generators.
Yeah, with a nat 1, you think he's really pissed at you. Like, he's clearly clocked that you were looking with hungry eyes and is really defensive about them.
Cool.
For the rest of you, he has this sort of scowl and then a little bit of a twitch in the eye as he sort of he like gives you guys a bit of a look and then turns back like really angrily looking at Miz. It's like, heard you been looking?
Yeah, they were interesting.
He leans in like real close. You want to come see my show generators?
Yeah.
Like breaks in like this huge like has a little bit of the really excited to get to show off his toys kind of thing. He said, "Come on."
May I also?
Yeah, come on.
Thank you very much.
You know we owe you. Yeah, sort of leads you out and down the city. It actually leads you down towards the gatehouse, towards you know where the two ends of the not canyon is the word, like the 2 points of the crescent.
Like the mouth.
Yeah, like the mouth. So where the 2 points of like the crescent moon are, where the wall comes in, and where there are 2 shield generator towers, and basically leads you down through the city towards the gatehouse.
Like as we're walking, can I go next to him and say,
Yeah.
Dearie, I'm sorry, but what's your rank now with all the things shuffling about and moving up and down and everything, and generals, colonels becoming
Sergeant
generals?
McLean at your service.
Sergeant McLean, dearie. Well, Sergeant McLean, I was wondering if you've seen a pair of the gift that the children know. 2 tieflings.
A pair, you say?
Pair, they're twins, same age.
I'm afraid not. Sorry.
You haven't seen.
We don't get a lot of kids around here.
Okay. You haven't seen like one, have you? One alabaster skin horns.
Not especially, no. You get some of the children coming through here occasionally, but none that I've taken note of. I keep an eye out for you.
Oh, I think.
I do have slightly ulterior motives in asking you to come see, right? So, the shield generators, we get the power from them from one of the old sites. You know, said you're interested, and we need someone to take some of the charging crystals out there. It's out through pretty bad country, but if you're happy to handle yourselves out that way, we can give you a keys to the place, and you basically need to stay there overnight and charge up the crystals.
Interesting. So you don't generate the power on site, you bring them in through a storage medium.
Yeah, the guy who installed them and scavenged them out the ruins said he couldn't find any artificial tech stuff that was powerful enough to keep on site. You have to go to the original sources.
How far away is it?
2 days.
Makes sense why you've not plumbed it straight through.
Is it back towards the front line?
Off northwest of here, so the battlefront's sort of southeast.
Southwest.
Southwest. And this will be going northwest. So up into the Kitsa territory, if you have many of them.
How many power crystals are we talking about?
Take a case, so probably 3. It'll take 8 hours a piece of charge, I imagine.
How long will they remain powered for?
That'll do the shield for a couple of days.
They must be incredibly efficient. And she'll start jotting
Yeah,
notes
for
again.
And how much would this little jaunt pay us, dearie?
Well, call it 8 gold a day. There's a little provision for hazard pay if you want to trouble.
Sorry, dearie. Could you use a little bit more gold? So 8, 16.
You make this trip regularly to the site.
We usually get some of the lads to go out, but you know, we've had some losses recently, so we haven't got the personnel to spare.
So 40 gold then, dear.
Sure. As I say, expect trouble. It's bad country.
But what about the site itself? Are there any traps or surprises we should be aware of?
No, you can just lock yourself in there. I mean, once you get there, you're safe.
And we have to lock ourselves in for 3 days.
No, you don't have. I mean, you're only going to be there for a day or so.
So it's 2
8
days
hours
there.
per crystal, 3 crystals, 24 hours.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there you go.
I see.
Plus, if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can have a chat to the thing, but it doesn't answer. Well, not in any language we know.
Ah.
Will's going to lock eyes with Miz.
Is this? So this thing can talk, dearie? Is it like but it isn't speaking in English, you know?
No.
Depends what mood he's in.
Wouldn't it be it? They?
Depends the mood.
Maybe you can ask them what their pronouns are.
I suppose that's true. I could.
Best way to do it.
I suppose that's true. I suppose that's true. I suppose that's true.
Anyway, he's by this point you've reached like the wooden stone wall of the canyon, and there is basically a big, heavy, reinforced iron door that is most likely magically reinforced, but there's no evidence of that on the surface. Pulls out a big, heavy key, opens the door. And yeah, you see that at least some portion of the interior of the canyon wall is hollow, and has been hollowed out so that a spiral staircase cuts up and down. And right, so the generators are up above, but actually the power conduits are down. So which one do we want to visit first?
Up to you, Miz.
Let's look at the power generators.
The power conduits or the shield generators?
The generators up top.
Yeah. Yeah, you head up. You get a
I'm going to when I get up there,
fantastic view.
activate detect magic. So you know,
Yeah, cool. So your little hard light visor appears over over one of your eyes. Okay, things that are magic up here: the cannons, the shield generators, and you can see the beginnings of conduits leading down into the rock, but very quickly blocked by the rock. His detect magic doesn't sort of go through much dense material. Yeah, roll Arcana. Anyone who wants to, by the way.
How did you get the shield generators?
We had a bloke come and install them.
14.
Yeah, they got sponsored by sponsored by the Crown back in Ulster to upgrade the gear a bit.
So I might spend my inspiration because that is an 8 and I want to know more. So yeah, I'm doing it. That's still not as good as I'd like. That's an 11. So a bloke's come in to do it.
Oi.
Do these don't? Does this look like an artist for design, or is this because this looks well beyond?
What was your Arcana?
11 on that one.
Okay. What I would say with continuing your use of inspiration. This is precursor tech through and through. This is old science and magic. However, there are a couple of bits repairs that this is clearly scavenged as well. This has been fully ripped out of something and dragged over here and placed in placed up here in human-made mounts, recent new mounts. But there are a couple of flourishes you recognise.
Interesting. Recognise in what way?
It looks a little bit like yours. And you did have a good teacher.
Interesting. What did the guy look like?
Austerian, kind of short. Had weird metal things on his Nicodemus.
Ah, sly dog. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so and you can see McLean has basically a control, like a sort of PSP sized control crystal, and says, so come in. They got siege weapons, they got siege worms, that kind of thing. We can just, and he swipes up on the pad and hexagonal interlocking plates appear over the top of the city. And you can see a couple of people down below, sort of the soldiers looking up at McLean, sort of are we being attacked? And he's like, but yeah, there's like 5 foot thick energy shield over the top of the town. Not bad, huh?
You've got power for now.
Oh yeah, but we don't we don't keep it on all the time. We just like to have the crystals drain over time, and we like to have them in reserve in case something does happen.
In the event of a siege.
Yeah, and turns the thing off as well. Yeah.
Okay. And then, but the crystals don't plug directly in, so
Well, I believe the crystal housing was down below.
yeah.
Yeah, you head down this rocky spiral staircase within the canyon wall, and head down actually into a decidedly familiar looking architecture, to you at least, and you. Like old sort of bluish grey metal on the walls, and it is a self-contained like box room that has been dug into through the ceiling. And
So this is an actual site.
it may not be an immortal site, but it is precursor.
Okay.
So you're not quite sure. No one is quite sure where the line is between what immortal is, who the precursors were, like whether they are the same thing or they're different things. But yeah.
Can I see any distinguishing marks as to
You
what
don't
kind of
see,
precursor thing this is?
You don't see the familiar symbol, put it that way. This is not a mark, but it is precursor. You can see there are like, in the blue metal of the wall, there is like grey infill in like microchip patterns, basically, which goes up both of the walls. And from a like circular pedestal in the middle, you can see there is there's like an oblong green crystal with like a brass ring around the middle of it, and it comes and tapers to point both ends. It is like spinning and coruscating in this crazy dance above the pedestal, and is what is presumably providing power. And you can see the power coursing up through this infill material up and above and up to the shield generators above.
I'm assuming that thing is paying crazy magical powerful.
Oh yeah, abjuration like fuck.
Yeah.
So the cabling, is there a point when it switches from pure precursor to precursor Artificer hybrid?
This whole place is hybrid. None of this was meant to be here.
Like even the room with the spinning crystal.
Yeah, that is.
Interesting.
It is. You don't necessarily think this was all supposed to go together in its original form. This is bits and pieces. But you're familiar with Nicodemus's work. He's not one for.
Yeah, I
like-
get the patch. I guess my thinking was this room a power source for something else, and since then it's been
Possible.
yeah.
You have no way of confirming
No,
that,
no,
but
no,
it is
yeah.
theoretically possible, yeah.
Interesting.
These crystals seem pretty dangerous when charged. Is that going to be a problem for us?
Keep them in the case and you'll be fine. They tend to attract lightning a bit, but we have a deadline case that locks out the energy settings. So
As the financier,
if it starts raining, don't open the case.
As the financier is 40 gold apiece. Is that agreeable?
That's acceptable.
That's acceptable. You don't want to haggle a bit.
Oh, deal's a deal.
I haven't made the deal yet. You could haggle
So
if you want.
whereas the other rooms
Sure, yeah.
look like they've been carved out of
You're happy
stone,
to for 40 gold?
does this room look like it was already here?
Yes.
Am I getting any messages about anything interesting to?
Yes, the voice will be commenting as it sort of analyzes things through your detect magic, and the vibe you're getting is essentially roll insight.
Ooh, 22.
Honestly, a little disdain, like the with like
Oh, what have they done
it's
to you?
only from the tone of voice, but it's like, oh, this could have been so much more. Like, oh, this would have been so much better back in the day when everything was being used for its proper purpose. And that's wasteful energy. Why is that running at 300% capacity? Why is that running at 50? You know, that kind of thing.
But you know, there is a sort of it's learning, but it doesn't value what it's learning yet.
Okay.
Do you know much about this place's history?
Not really. I mean, Fort Morgan was built 12 years ago now.
Do you know if Fort Morgan was built before or after this room was discovered?
Oh, after. Like we always knew this was a good defensive point, but you know, there were bits and pieces of tech like under the sand here, and
Have you still got any of it?
he points to like the general area.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's very possible wherever these crystals are being charged, there'll be a bit more of this tech if you're very interested and you seem keen.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going there. I'm just
Well, go see, I see. We
Yeah.
could leave tonight if you want, if you're really keen.
remind me, how safe is it to cross the desert at night? It's bad, right?
It's safer in terms of health. It's less safe in terms of danger. Like traveling in, like even if you are traveling in the day, what you're most likely doing is getting up at 6, traveling for 4 hours, waiting until 6, traveling for 4 hours, and then sleeping, and then resting in the middle of the day because it's.
So actually, at night we could make a more continual journey and then rest during the day.
Yeah. But you run the danger of, you know, things in the dark that you can't see.
That's a good point.
I mean, in theory, it's
But-
not even 8 o'clock now,
Let's say 7 o'clock. Yeah.
so we could like do the first 4 hours now,
You could.
and then rest overnight, and then start going at 6 in the morning.
You should always encourage the youth, you know, if they're very keen, let them go.
I am going to just say to Miz, in a low voice, but not quite so low that he can't hear it. Miz, does this look like it's running at over capacity, like maybe 200%, and this is only running like 50%? Does that seem right to you?
Roll Arcana.
Yeah, I was going to say. That is a nat 20 again.
26 or something.
Yeah, that's 26.
Yeah. What would you say?
I'm not sure I'd be focusing on the efficiency, to be honest. I'm much more curious about the patchwork nature of it and about its original.
Like you can
like-
see like a bunch of like resistors have been like
Yeah.
honestly like only someone with your level of training in artifice would clock this, but a lot of like the resistors that help this run without overloading have been like fully like jury rigged quite lazily. And again, that fits with what you know of Nicodemus, who
Yeah.
would lose his own trousers if he wasn't in them.
Wouldn't surprise me. That's not what I've been focusing on. I mean, it's a miracle this is all running as it is. This was not its original purpose, not by a long way.
No, I can tell.
Hmm.
Maybe someone from the university could come here and make it a little bit more ordered and efficient at some point.
They won't come here. Not anymore.
Okay.
Not till the war's over. I'm not supposed to be here. No. I've said all that. I'm not whispering.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to keep my voice.
To be honest,
low.
I think I'd zone out at the
Yeah.
attack talk.
University dear, the school girl.
Oh.
Interesting, and you're not supposed to be here.
They didn't want me to go. No.
I see. But you're an adult and you're able to make your own decisions, yes?
That's what I decided.
By the laws of the land, she is of the age of majority. She can make her own decisions as an adult. Her own bad decisions.
The phrase "I decided that" it kind of leads to "I'm not."
And you're starting to see why Will felt that he couldn't leave her on her own.
Starting
Yeah.
to understand some things.
Yeah. I'm not in danger with him. He's in danger with me.
Well, in that case, we can't take the cart we took last time because that's not ours. So we'll need to secure some transportation.
Well, I'm sure you'll provide us with transportation for the crystals, right?
Yeah, how
I
heavy
mean,
are the crystals?
Okay, so he goes over to like a panel in the wall and like pulls it down and pulls out basically like a diamond briefcase. So it's like full like handcuff to the wrist and to the case. Pulls it open and there's an interior. You can see it's heavy. It's like lined with lead and deliberately to stop like magical radiation going through it. And yeah, like there is a rack of crystals in there which he pulls out. There's a what looks to be like a glass security screen, and he like taps a pad with some like familiar symbols on, and it comes down. He pulls some of the crystals out and places them in there, and said, "Right, who's taking us?"
Unless anyone stops her, she's grabbing the... Actually, how heavy is the case?
Pretty.
Yeah, she'll try, I guess... she'll try to grab it and then realise that she's nowhere near strong enough to hold that.
Yeah, so
it's also my dumpster.
He hands it to you and you go, "Oof." Yeah.
I'll give that to me, deity. Fix it up.
Hench grandma. Yeah, sort of like snaps the security lock.
Also, hench great grandpa.
Yeah. Right, I'll get your map. Yeah, come on back to the base with me and yeah.
And a cart and transportation.
We can give you horses. I don't see no reason why you can't take the cart you took brought the coffin back on with.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you say horses?
Mounts, you know,
Okay.
and spades. I'm not made of horses.
I was surprised.
I grew up in Ulster. You can tell. But I grew up in Ulster. My dad owned a horse farm, so you know. You know, he'd be spinning his grave if he saw me riding on that. Wicked fast though.
Yeah, and yeah, leads you back up to the colonel's quarters, well, the general's quarters now, and yeah, like pulls out some maps. So where you are looking is if you go to the Volan map. I have forgotten how to do. It's that one. Text. There we go. So you're looking about. Is that going to do anything?
Have you enabled the pings module?
I have.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, that still hasn't shown up on mine. Yeah, I'm trying to do text as well to actually write on. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, puts a pin in the map about like 2 days northwest of here.
Sorry, I'm struggling to see it upside down and at a flat angle. So, is that where we're heading, and is that where we currently are?
Yeah, this is where we currently are. Where this
that symbol is always going to be us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
actually, that should actually be on Fort Morgan now.
Yeah. So
I can move us.
So actually, because of the front lines along. No, the front lines are along there, aren't they?
Yeah. So if you see the orange line, that is revealed Coyotl territory.
Yeah.
So this area is controlled by the revealed Coyotl, which are the mostly friendly. This area and west is controlled by the Light Sworn, who are the Arkla, Ulpopolana, and Raza. And this is mostly human-controlled territory.
So we're heading deeper into the reveal Coyotl, and technically closer towards Light Sworn, but still quite comfortably within.
We are going essentially in going no closer to the battlefront, which is we're going into the bleak angle.
Yeah. But yeah, you are headed more into the wilds. So, like as I said, Fort Morgan is kind of the last bastion of relative safety. Past here it gets a lot. There are other towns, but they are all firstly north of the river. So you won't be headed to. So there's like 4 towns over here and a couple of other like truly human and Coyotl settlements. Fort Morgan is a human settlement with Coyotl are welcoming. Like Ragbend, which is over here, is like very much a mixture of all races. Weaver's Hollow is fully human. Harlan is the most human. Tombstone, more of a mix, but mostly human. Elysium is notable that it is a human city and is owned and controlled and run by the Firebird Company.
Cool. Just to confirm, is the area that we're heading into as far as we're aware, is just pure desert. That's like it's charted, but it's desert as opposed to this area where we haven't got a clue.
Yeah, it's at least explored before, and there are maps to it. Anything west of that mountain range is, you might have people looking through scry, or you might have people flying over. But even if you're flying over, you're still probably in danger because some of the Goyle tribes do train flying mounts. So.
Yeah, cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
Should we know that there are precursor sites in those 3 locations?
Those are rumoured.
Okay.
So this one is confirmed.
Yeah.
That one is most definitely confirmed. That was the site of the Flesh Plague a few years ago. This is one that is rumoured. That is one that is rumoured, and that is one that is theorised by. You'll academically theorise, there is no reason there should be a forest there, but there is. Okay. So, yeah.
So it's basically, you look for an anomaly, and you figure there's a precursor site causing this anomaly.
It's a good
That's how
bet.
they worked that one out.
Although the garden, which is this one, is basically the rivers flow out of it because it is what acted as a nuclear cooling tower for a precursor ruin. And the water is from a giant water elemental. This is known knowledge that exploded out of there about 5 years ago, and basically became the river that runs both ways. And it had its consciousness dispersed along it. So yeah.
Are there any problems with drinking from that water source? Then?
No, it's the cleanest water you're going to get in here.
Yeah.
There's the odd oasis and aquifer bubbling up from below, but. You take what water you can get.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't worried about how clean it was. My concerns were about drinking, a conscious
Sentience.
being. Yeah.
It is not the river, although it lives throughout the river.
Yeah, it is the river.
If you
spirit.
drank the whole river, then there may be.
I feel you've got much larger problems before that.
Yeah,
right?
kidney problems.
There are trees along here as well.
Yeah.
Whether have those been cultivated? But by the Firebird Company, for example?
So there are bits and pieces of forest all around. There's some in Harlan. There are some all over, but that is dense, thick forest in the north.
Okay.
It is also the kind of trees you wouldn't expect to find here. So that's palm trees and a bit of scrubby acacia and stuff. That up there is an evergreen forest, which shouldn't be there.
Okay.
But
so
McLean rolls up basically a vellum map with a few instructions and a few sort of different landmarks to navigate by, and sort of offers it out to whoever's gonna pass it over to you. It's like a red leather map case that is.
Does he give us keys or a code or something to get into the charging station?
Yes. So he gives you an egg-shaped stone but flat. Basically like a key fob, and gives you instructions on how to use it to enter. And there is a passcode also that he gives you that he has to can I get an intelligence check from anyone who is trying to memorize this? You two can have advantage.
7.
8.
22.
God.
I mean, this is how you got around your home for a long time. So what he does is he writes it down, gives it to you to memorize, and burns it, because this is reasonably secure knowledge. So he doesn't want the piece of paper out there, for example, but he's happy to pass on the information.
I really need to get that feat so I can get a literal photographic memory. Okay, screenshot this.
You just clench your butt cheeks real hard and it takes a screenshot.
And then I can recall it by getting picture in picture, just top left corner, and just get.
That's what the camera was. You're a gent.
One final thing, I'd like you to pass a message on to Jen.
Is there one left?
Oi.
I asked you about those two the children.
Sure.
Yes, I remember. I'd like you to ask her as well.
What, the general?
Yes.
Sure.
Pass the message along. Unless she's not, you said she was busy with paperwork and all of
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff. So I don't want to get in her way or anything, but I really need to ask her.
When she has a moment, I'll ask a question.
You'll pass the situation on, and you'll tell me when I come back, and
Sure.
we'll get a nice promissory note from you to say we're going to get 40 gold for the journey and back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like as he like, leads you back in and like gets the maps out from the headquarters. There is basically like almost like a checkbook basically.
Mhm.
And again, it is a note that you'll have to have notarized by the treasurer of Fort Morgan by an officer or probably more like a quartermaster or above. But considering like the major you spoke to was outranking the quartermaster, then you can also right.
I do have one further question.
Go for it. These cookies are amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Carry
glad
on.
you like.
I find myself between abodes, as it were.
Oh, aye.
And I was just wondering the process of maybe obtaining some kind of permanent lodgings here.
Don't know about permanent, but you could slum down in the barracks with their crates if you want.
I'm also able to potentially provide some clerking services, as I have some experience with military paperwork.
Oh, aye. I talked to the general to see if you got any openings. You know, a lot of people get killed around here, so.
A winning endorsement for further gainful employment, dear. I'm sure to be fine and lovely.
We also kill a lot of people, so that's nice. Which pats the rifle stock on his shoulder.
Thumb up with a metal hand.
Cool.
Right. Shall we get going then?
Happy traders. Yeah. Is there anything anyone else wants to do before you leave Fort Morgan? Anything speak to or buy or?
As it's a military establishment, are they selling health potions at all?
Probably not. Like
Yes,
they would
that's
be
absolutely fine.
kept with by medics specifically and brewed by medics specifically.
Not to mention that they cost a lot more gold than we have right now.
So
Is he going there? Are they going to provide rations and water for the trip?
that is provided. Yes, that's
Cool, that's
part of the deal.
Just checking.
Cool. You head down through the cobble streets again, dragging this cart. So without the coffin, everyone can ride on the cart. Like that was, a 7 foot long pine box is, takes up a lot of space. But
It was
now
disrespectful to sit on the coffin.
Although it didn't have a dead guy in it, so it's fine.
Just resting his eyes.
He's pining for the fjords. You head down the cobble streets. Shush. And then up to this big stone block of it, and it is. You can see it is artifice lifting it. Like there are counterweights and like inertial dampeners that go in to allow this massive block of stone to be lifted upwards. And you ride the cart out into what is like a nice, cool evening. It's going to take you 2 days or so to get to your destination. You're headed northwest, so you are sort of heading into the setting sun. Even you're heading off at like 7:30 or 8, but the sun is still up, and it's this beautiful like orange half orb on the horizon line. There are some sort of low hills, but there is very much there's very little in the way up to the horizon line. You can see for miles and miles, even up to like the mountains in the distance, which are days and days away. Volan is extremely flat until it really isn't. But there are dunes and stuff. Roll me perception, anyone comes to you.
Dirty 20.
Ooh.
Cool. You are heading along. You can see there are more. I think you saw them like last time we had a session. Like there are
you go for like boulder fields, but instead of being boulders, they're just like giant fossilized clams that were like part of like the big clam beds on the seafloor. You know that there is a lot of this kind of seafloor detritus that has since become part of the landscape. There's when you have like canyons in Volan, it's all like like reef limestone fossils in the walls. There's even down that way towards, like between Elysium, sort of towards the battlefront, a place called the Whale Temple, which is in the skeleton. It is a coastal temple built into the skeleton of a colossal whale. If anyone wants to roll history, sort of about that, you're very welcome to.
13. 18.
19.
19.
No,
So,
21. Sorry.
so you two will recognise that you have heard of the Whale Temple and heard of the scale of it, and it's too big to be a regular creature. You have heard of these things called deep creatures, which are pseudo elementals. Not like the stone bison that the Garu Coatl ride. Those are run-of-the-mill animals just with weird like dermal plates on. The deep creatures are truly forces of nature. If you're heading out this way, you may sight Mackinac, which is the Kitsa capital city, as it were, which is a city-sized tortoise with a whole civilization on his back. It is sort of mobile fortress, mobile city kind of thing. Although the Kitsa are one of the less warlike Coatl tribes, and they are friendly to you guys, but they tend to sort of take more of a support role in the war as well. But Mackinac is one of these deep creatures you've heard about. These enormous forces of nature that come from beneath the sand or beneath the waves and are almost incomprehensibly vast and ancient. But as you travel, there's really not much to see. It gets dark a few hours later. I think you have dark vision. Do you have dark vision?
No.
No, so it's just, just you. So you.
It's getting dark.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and you can see the beautiful like spiral of the galaxy up above. Yeah, this like pinky purple sort of an orange in places light in this huge spiral. Both the moons are out tonight. One of them is nearly full, and one of them is just the barest crescent of light. And like how late are you planning? Are you going to travel all through the night, or are you going to try and sort of kick back onto a more regular sleep cycle?
I think a regular sleep cycle.
Okay. You travel until sort of 11. You find a little grove of mercy trees that are probably going to suit for a place to stay. And you can like juice the moss that sits on them for some of the dew that collects underneath it, and at least save some of your potable water for emergencies that's been given to you by the people of Fort Morgan. Who's taking? Is anyone taking watches? Who is taking which ones?
Well, I'll do the standard watch all night.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do first watch.
Can you see in the dark, dear?
No.
Well, I can, dear, so let's me take in the first watch, given it's the darkest.
Okay.
Obviously,
logically speaking, that is. I spent a
Sense
lot.
to me.
I spent a lot of time out here in moonlit and starry nights, so
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
Augustine, are you watching? You're heading straight to bed.
I'm heading straight to bed.
Fair enough, yeah. You spend a pretty peaceful night. I'm not going to make you roll for anything. There's, like, this close to Fort Morgan, you're only a few hours away. Like, the Outriders and the Scouts tend to take down any threats. It's the next few days that are going to be more dangerous. You can hear, like, the hoot of owls and screeches. At one point, you see, like a big green lizard, like, walks up and just sort of and just stares at you as you're watching. And looks at you quite intently, and then like the big like flappy monitor lizard run off into the desert. You can also see like around you there's some of the big saguaro style cactuses with like the huge needles. You can see there are little birds that have like almost like woodpeckered their way into and they've made their home within the a cavity which then dried out and like formed like a callus inside, and they're sort of fluttering in and out. Like you see this all through the night of them coming and going, and then as like you have the second watch as it gets towards dawn, you can see them, just some sort of flickering in and out. Dawn comes. It is gonna be another scorcher of a day, I tell ya. It is, as you wake up, there is that barest like stratus cloud, like the lines of it in the sort of broken, almost like mirroring the desiccation cracks of the ground as dawn comes, and it is just like the whistling of wind in the desert instead of the Wild West Saloon playlist.
Point of order. What time do you two need the hard cut off?
10, half 10.
Yeah, half 10's fine.
I was aiming for 10, so if we need to go a little bit after that, we can. But 10:30 is way more than I got planned for tonight.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the entire campaign planned.
I mean, I'm not for tonight. I fucking don't. Final battle. So, who are you bringing? The next day arrives. It is hot. It is like the air is also only bearable because of the strong blustery winds. But even so, it's gritting your mouth and your eyes, and it's you're grateful for the bandit mask that you have tied around your face. But even you've got your handkerchief out of your mouth just for the first part of the day. Can I get perception for everyone, please?
7.
21.
14.
18.
Okay. You spy a dust cloud on the horizon.
In the direction we're heading?
Almost directly ahead of you, yeah.
Careful ahead. There's some unnatural weather applied.
Unnatural weather or something coming towards us that's moving quite quick.
What's that?
See?
With an 18, when he points out, you can see it, yeah.
Do I think it's somebody coming towards us fast and not weather?
Something, yeah.
Alright, yes. Is there anywhere nearby to kind of like hide and duck into?
Survival or perception to sort of try and find a little shelter?
Let's go with survival. 21.
Oh yeah. You can it's quite similar. There's a little grove of mercy trees which goes by it's not a road. It's barely even a path, but it looks like people have been you can see the odd dried wagon rut from possibly decades ago. And you sort of just pull the cart in and watch, see what's coming towards you, and you think you can see maybe a rider coming towards you, maybe someone riding hard riding. But as you've got that eagle vision, keen out ahead, you can see there is an ant coming fast towards you, but it doesn't have a rider.
Is the horse without the man on top?
Oh. That's probably not good. Because I would imagine something's chasing it then.
How many can you see?
Just the one.
The one deity.
Yep.
Is it common for these ants to travel alone in these parts?
There are wild ants around here, but they are very eusocial. They stick to the hive. Most of the ants that you're riding will have been descendants of wild ants that have been broken in. As it gets sort of...
I'm going to conjure my holographic pistol with a holographic bullet in it.
Very good. As it sort of gets a bit closer towards you, it's maybe 100 feet ahead of you now. You can see that it is a saddled ant. This was one that someone was riding. It has saddlebags as well. But yeah, no one riding.
Interesting.
And no sign of it being chased behind it?
Not really, no.
And it's still coming straight for us? Or
It's not coming straight for you. It's coming.
It feels like it's going to pass us at this
It's going to pass you if you don't intercede and try and
There might be some
catch it.
food.
Yeah,
Perhaps
so we-
something
yeah.
like this. Or just try and jump out and stop it.
Okay, can I get
Animal handling.
a moderate animal handling check or a difficult intimidation check?
Can I... do I get the sense... because I've been here a while. Do I get the sense these things understand a language?
No.
Okay, so then yeah.
No, they are no more intelligent than the
possibly less intelligent than your average horse.
Okay.
Like, you can't train an ant for war, but you can train a horse for war.
That's true. Okay.
I could try shouting at it.
I don't think that'd work. Yeah. I'll try. I'm usually a dab hand with a bit of an animal. And I'll go do an animal handling check.
Go for it.
23.
Oh yeah, like you full like step up like some asshole in a dinosaur movie and like do the whole like thing. And it looks really dumb, but apparently it works. And the ant like sort of like slows down and sort of like clicks and sort of like
She's holding out a cookie.
yeah, and it doesn't really look particularly interested in food, but all, like with a reassuring presence there and like a confident presence as well. It looks less panicked. No perception check required. In one of the stirrups there is a foot
Looks aside, sees us.
from about
She's
like
just-
mid calf.
She's just like soothing the ant. Going, oh,
Human
dearie,
foot,
oh,
turtle foot?
Human.
Could one of you remove the foot from the stirrup over there?
So
I'll go.
Yeah, you.
Extra right
Yeah,
there.
it's just a whole foot. Like, it looks ragged. Like this hasn't been sliced. It's been torn or bitten or clawed. Like something that
Yeah.
wasn't surgical.
Does the shoe look like it's part of any kind of uniform or
It's a boot
standard fare?
for sure.
Just a boot.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's a nice boot. I mean, like people pay a lot for boots. That's why boot hills exist.
can I gently pat the side of the ant where the foot was removed just to check on the rarest of off chance that the rest of the rider is not invisible?
Considering that he just pulled the foot off, yes. You hear her voice.
I mean,
yeah,
we had
roll
a spray of invisibility
investigation,
and
yes.
missed a bit.
Yeah, just mainly just to check that I can't feel anything. That's a 12.
Yeah, you blindly wave your hands over the ant, and
Yeah.
there are no invisible people. To be. It does look like the foot came from someone.
I would have been shocked if there was.
Yeah, that's a very niche invisibility spell.
Yeah.
What's in the saddlebags?
There's like there's a coil of rope. There's like some climbing pitons. There's actually like a bunch of letters, just addressed to like people. Like there's nothing like.
Is this
It's not military, like.
No, it's not like here's the code to the Death Star. It's like
This is the postman.
Is this Kevin Costner's ant, and we've accidentally intercepted it, and whoops. Kevin Costner's in the movie called The Postman, I think.
I have not seen that movie.
It's
Yes.
terrible.
Fair enough.
It's a good film.
It is not.
Yeah, just
Didn't
like,
it
like
kill his career for
No,
a
that's
while?
Waterworld.
that is a bad film. Are you like slicing open the letters, or are you? Because at the moment they're just addressed to, like people, like
Yeah.
like Mrs. Fauntler and me.
I'm more concerned with why this thing was running. So I am going to be looking out in the direction it was coming from, just to see if there is anything.
Perception, yeah.
Is the
Is-
ant itself injured in any way?
1.
Natural 1.
Cool.
I might use my session inspiration because I've not used it.
Go for it.
That is a grand total of 18.
Okay, yeah. Look at like, you can't see anything specific that is chasing it. The ant does look exhausted, like it's been running for some time, and something has spooked it, and it has just followed like a scent trail, essentially, as ants do. And this was the way that the last ant moved, so it's just been following it. What was the question?
Is there a letter in like a type font rather than like a press font?
No, this is all handwritten stuff. Yeah,
And is the ant itself injured in any way?
that was the question. The ant is on medicine.
Sure. Ooh, that's a 2, so probably not. Yeah, a grand total of 4.
The ant is not injured in any meaningful way that you can tell.
Cool.
I'll pick the one that is the most formally written
Yeah.
and open it.
Okay, yeah. You slice through the little wax seal on it and undo the little bit of twine that holds the letter shut. It is a letter basically informing someone of the death of a relative and informing them that they died penniless and that there is no
Inheritance.
There is no inheritance to be sought. And honestly, it might be like a. I mean, as you said, like debt can be inherited in Volan.
Mhm.
It's not a perfect place, and it's like this generally not be like a letter saying, "Please find the sum total of your grandfather's arrears
Yeah.
to the tune of 13 gold, 5 silver, and 6 copper," that kind of thing.
Where are they all addressed to?
All over. You see, this one is marked from a place called Four Towns, which you think is up like north of the river. But they are addressed to Ragbend, to Harlan, to Widow's Gulch.
So not all are going to one specific.
No, not at all. It looks like they. Without opening more, you can't tell where they were from. But yeah, but this one in particular, just addressed to someone in a place called Widow's Gulch, which is about there or so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, free hand.
Yeah.
I suppose, dear. Is that okay with you, Kevin? I've named him. I give Kevin a bit of water.
Yeah. The water Kevin is more keen on than
Then the cookie.
yeah.
I
But
think
with
I
the
think, as you have been the one to calm it, it is most fitting if you wish to ride it.
Yes, I would love to ride it. You can rest in it. It's probably a bit more comfortable than the cart.
it's fully saddled up, and it's not happy about going back the way it came, but it's more down with it considering that you are
I'm the one riding.
the one riding it, and you're
Right.
sort of you are sort of like patting the thorax and sort of giving it a bit of
bit of water, a bit of sugar.
and that helps honestly, and also at one point it just stops and just demolishes a small sweet cactus as well.
You do what you need.
Sort of like goes off you're trying to ride it forward and it just like no over there. Ooh. Yeah.
You do what you need to do, Kevin.
I don't know if you've
It's
ever
fine.
looked after horses, but they're assholes.
They do what they want.
One other
anyway.
question, and apologies if this already got asked. Were there also supplies in there as well?
Bits and bobs. Yeah, there was
Like water and food?
there's a water canister, like a canteen, like that would
Wow.
suit one person. There's a few bits of hardtack, a few bits of jerky. There's no personal effects, but then again, most people tend to keep their personal effects on their person as
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
that's probably inside
So-
something now.
So, from what we can see, you can theorise the rider was prepped for a few hours, maybe 8, with the amount of water that they had.
like a skilled survivalist in the desert would not need more than this amount of water storage. If they knew which oases to go between and which
Cool.
springs and which mercy trees to get
Lovely. Okay.
between, so yeah.
Cool. Cool.
What did you get on that medicine check?
Like
It was
4,
like 4,
I think.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Unless it's got like a leg missing, and only on one side, I don't think I'd like.
A leg missing on the side that you looked at.
Yeah.
You continue through the rest of the day, and again, you take watches through the night. It is oppressively hot, which I feel we can all appreciate
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
We're playing in 4D, guys.
As we
Can we
prep
stop?
For as we
Wish.
prep for the night, I will
Yeah.
go through all the other letters.
Go for all the other letters. Okay, it is much.
Apparently it's supposed to rain this
It
weekend.
looks like they are all
Oh, it does.
addressed from Four Towns, which is again, the little settlement north of the river.
Mm-hmm.
It is a full full mix of Coatl and humans. It also tends to be Coatl exiles who either have disagreed with the tribe and left or have been actually banished. And from the human side, also the slightly less savoury end of the country. People who go out that far west and north probably are there for a reason, and it's probably because they are persona non grata in whatever place kicked them out last time. It's not like Mos Eisley, but it's that direction on the chart. Yeah.
Find any good gossip in all those letters, dear?
There is a full accusation of infidelity with some choice language in it. Yeah.
Some very juicy ones, and I hand that one over to you. Meanwhile, I specifically pocket the one about the penniless man
Of course you do. Yeah. Otherwise, there's like a couple of like sweetheart letters and like business letters, but like information, like passing on like, oh, that shipment's going to be that amount late and that kind of thing. There's nothing in here that seems like vital of any importance. Like the only importance you're going to find in it is what you place in it. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Have we followed the ant tracks? Or have we veered from that course?
You're still probably following them, yeah, because it was coming from directly ahead of you. You think that you will diverge off the path tomorrow, whereas you'll keep going like northwest, but the road towards like Four Towns will turn off north, and then go like ford the river and that kind of thing.
So Four Towns is quite near the garden then, all things considered.
It's north of the garden.
Oh, okay.
Anyone who could roll me history or religion related to the garden.
Hmm.
Who wishes to?
Let's go history. 19.
That one.
You don't need to roll. You
Okay.
know this.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
20?
Yep.
19? 12. So, Augustine, you all have heard of the Church of the Waters of Life. Mostly because game respects game when it comes to financial scams. Or at least formally. Because it used to be a very profitable money-making operation for a very enterprising businessman. And then some other stuff happened. And it ended with the destruction of whatever precursor ruin was inside the Mesa which the garden sits in. And yeah, some bad business that was bad for business is what you know about it. You two got slightly higher. You know that there was this sort of Scientology. I'm not startled. It was like a Scientology-esque like money cult that was only intended to financially scam people. Then something happened involving the precursor ruin, and the faith started to get out of hand. At which point, the most of the adherents of the church, left or went back to civilization or died in the desert on their way. The few adherents who were most
Devout, fanatical.
fanatical in their faith kind of devolved, and the Church of the Waters of Life still exists, but most people refer to them as the drowners, because that's what they do. They hunt people and drown them on dry land. Yeah.
They went from a cult of Scientology to a cult with a capital C
Yeah.
of Scientology.
And no one is quite sure how and why they have cleric levels, but they do. So so they are headquartered in the garden, and one of the reasons why this area is dangerous is because the Church of the Waters Life hunt out here. Like that's what he meant by bad country, not just the beasts in the night, but also the people around here.
So where is that in relation to the Four Towns?
So Four Towns is about here. Up here, probably somewhere around there.
Oh, okay.
I'll add these to the map when I have a working laptop. You're headed for about there. The
Also,
garden
it's
is
a
up
few
here.
more days then.
Or rather, you're headed for like this next square here.
Okay, yeah.
The garden is up here. Four Towns over here. So whoever, assuming this person, I mean, the foot was pretty fresh, like a day fresh, not a week fresh. So it's possible that they left Four Towns some time ago and then met an end, possibly on the road down.
This isn't really the drowner's MO to just.
For sure not. No, they leave whole, undisturbed bodies just bloated and drowned.
So, yeah. So whatever happened about a day ago, and we're travelling in that direction for about half a day. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Be alert as we're travelling.
On the good side, there is he's not, drowned, and there's no signs of that, so it wasn't them.
You can tell that from a foot.
You don't usually drown people in pieces.
Maybe they've changed their MO, but yes, I take your point.
Fanatics...
You drowned him into bits.
Fanatics, as a general rule, have a theme they stick to. They don't really deviate. That's the point.
Except when they do.
You head on, wary and watchful of the surrounding countryside, knowing that something was out here that was capable of biting a man's leg clean through like big bones as well, like long bones in the leg, and yeah. But eventually, stuff starts to line up on the map that McLean gave you, and ahead of you, you can see. It works. Come on.
Oh, 100%.
Wait,
Do I have any token with vision in this scene?
That should have. Oh, come on, that should. It's it.
Ooh, less than 10 FPS.
That's because it's low. It's something big and...
Yeah.
They should have token vision off this one, which is a shame. Okay, I didn't save the changes, that's why.
Yeah, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Technical difficulties. If you scroll up a little bit, you can see that.
Okay.
Yeah, this sort of spine of rocks sticks out of the sand here, and within a cave mouth, extending back maybe sort of 10-15 feet, you can see a big metal vault door back set into the back wall of the cave. This appears to be what you're being directed to.
is there anything else around that we can see?
Roll perception.
That's 17 plus 2, so 19.
Yeah, off just to the south, due south of you actually. There is a little grove of mercy trees with one actual tree in the middle of it, which is it's not like an impossible sight, but it's a rare sight. Like
Highly
lots of
unusual.
water is bound into the soil here. You know, it's not like supernatural. It's just it's a bit of a treat to see a real tree. I mean, it's dead and like devoid of any kind of leaves and it's old dead wood, but even so, it's impressive to see.
Oh.
Inside, yeah, you can see again this bluish grey metal of this like vault door.
Oh, we made it deities without nearly a problem. For us, at least.
Do the instructions just give any warnings, or they just say approach and use the?
No, it gives you the key code and gives you the little the keystone as well.
Yeah.
So there is if you are approaching towards it, yeah, you can see there is a depression in which that little keystone will fit, and then as you place the keystone in, a little like panel of light appears above the stone with basically a keypad, but with those strange symbols that you don't recognise. What did you get on there?
I think Misty was the only one.
I think it was like an 8 for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, if you're approaching it, I will be with you.
Yeah.
Just before we enter and open the doors, from my experience, how many places are locked up like this?
For Immortals, Lights and Subsites,
Yeah.
all of them.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Like most, like you know, people from the university who, the ruin crackers they're called, who all they do really is crack open old ruins, try to get inside and see what is there. They don't tend to study them. They're just to get in there and get what's out.
The
Yeah.
interest in the puzzle. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Then, yeah, I'll enter the combination.
Can't you together? Welcome, inheritor, says a voice from your backpack.
Oh yes. I can't remember what I called him again. Was it Bob?
I can't remember.
I think it was Bob.
Yeah.
Bob the Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, the door actually would go like slides apart from the middle, and you can see like a narrow passageway leading down into the earth.
Dear, you
There
back
is
speaking
a
again.
coruscating, multicolored glow coming from down below.
So can I'll take Bob out and like just attach him onto my shoulder.
Yeah, you for sure can have a little like like Axon in Borderlands 2 has the little thing on the shoulder. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
At least it's out of the sun. Nothing else.
It's cool and dark down there, which is
It's a lovely bit.
a remarkable special thing out here.
Can Kevin fit?
Can Kevin fit down there?
Yeah, and
under no circumstances.
Oh, Kevin, I'm sorry. You're going to have to wait out here. Go find a little bit of shade over there. I don't know what that means, but then
We've got to tie up the cart and the beasts outside for 24 hours. Presumably there is a reasonable place to leave them where
Probably that
signs have been left.
Probably that little grove of trees
Okay.
is. There actually, if you go there is like a halting post driven into the ground with like iron rings to place stuff. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I don't have light as a spell. That's annoying.
Willie
Did
goes,
you take-
snaps your fingers.
Ooh, can I use my on-off cantrip
I was
to
wondering
turn
if
on
someone
the
turned it
lights?
Yeah, you. So what?
Boom.
Like orbs in the ceiling in the sort of like line just come on like pulse with this soft glow and then settle back down to just a little like dim light but not bright like it. They might once have been bright. Yeah. You can see that there is a symbol on the wall inside that looks like. That. And it has writing in a language that you don't really understand, like round through here.
Do I understand it?
You recognise it.
Well, I mean, one of my languages is Omartal.
One of your written languages or spoken languages.
Well, I got
Is that the same
4
with all
languages
Omartals?
through my backstory. Sorry,
Yeah.
no, through my background, and I've picked Ulsterian, Trowaldian, and Omartal.
Yes. Okay then.
So, and I'd like to
Then
flavour it that I get subtitles for both written languages and hearing it.
So I sent it to you. It looks like that. The writing says Omartal non-cultibemus.
Omartal
Non-cultibemus, which is precursor for we will not worship.
Okay, Ryan knows what that is in reference to, or thinks he suspects he knows what that is in reference to. Would Will.
Roll history, but there is no reason why Will through backstory would know it, and I don't think there's any reason the voice would have told you.
In that case,
it.
I won't roll it, and I'll just say that he doesn't know.
Yeah, that's I think reasonable.
There is no if the voice didn't say anything, then there's no reason Will would know.
Yeah. As you step through the door, holding the skull on your shoulder. Yeah. Welcome, inheritor. Says the skull. The voice in the sight says something else.
Why do you just keep saying that, dearie?
It's Bob. He translates for me.
Is that what the writing on the wall says, or is that what the voice over the...
The voice, I don't understand the writing.
The writing just says, Omartal, we will not worship.
Does that mean anything to me?
Do you want to roll religion or history?
Sure.
Yes.
Missed.
Ooh. That's very high. 22.
Omartal is the name. What was it?
13.
13. Omartal. You've heard the word.
We will not worship. You are aware of a thing called the War of Worship,
Yeah.
which was where the gods all got together to have a nice big fight. Presumably, the people who made the Project Martel, whatever this is, weren't fans of gods. Yeah.
Makes enough sense, yeah. Logically. It's kind of what I figured.
So as you descend down these like metal steps, actually you can see you think originally this would have been like an escalator, like there is gummed up and janked mechanisms that no longer function, and you're having to like walk down the escalator. As you get to the bottom, you can see that there is like a boxy room. This, unlike some of the other Immortal places you've been before, this is a single room. There are no doors, no other doors, no other exits. Immortal subsite 334 is on the lintel above. You can see that within this like boxy metal room, there is a bank of like screens and input devices which you recognise. There is also a big metal pad of like a silvery metal on the floor and on the ceiling, and between that runs this like almost DNA helix of coruscating, multifaceted, multicoloured light, which up from the floor to the ceiling, or possibly from the ceiling to the floor. You're not quite sure which way it's moving.
I'd like to say something's just occurred to me.
Yeah.
It makes sense, and I'm happy for this to be the case, if the voice is able to cast Detect Magic at its will.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
In fact, when your eyes brush past that subsite 334. 334 power distribution network.
This sounds related to your shtick.
Yes. Although not one of my subsites.
So this is a subsite.
Yes.
Okay. Where might I look to find information that might lead me to the main site?
In your vision, almost like when an item glows like a quest marker in a video game, you see the computer banks like.
Okay, I'm going to saunter up to it.
Yeah.
I say saunter.
What are you guys doing? Because like you guys, is this the first time you've been in an Immortal an Immortal structure?
Probably, yeah.
What are you feeling right now? What are you thinking?
Just confusion, curiosity.
This place is old. You can feel the bones of the earth around this place are old.
Well, Lily would know it was very old, because the War of Worship happened ages past.
Correct.
So, and this would be the same time period. Presumably, the Immortal were a third faction in one of the factions in the War of Worship and decided, screw the gods.
It's possible.
And then got wiped out
That's
of
not
history.
an unreasonable inference to make.
Based on the phrase that they had above the door, yeah.
So you can see all this like fantastical machinery in front of you, including this dancing helix of light as well.
I think this is where we want to be, though, for charging those crystals up and getting our money. Though it is a very old place.
Yeah.
Does it make you worried?
No, just curious.
Trying to find a way to make a profit?
Sadly, I don't think there's a way to.
There are like I say, like you've gone over to like one of the banks of computers, but there are other like screens and stuff and.
So
Does our friend look a little bit glassy-eyed to you?
A little bit, yeah.
Do the test. That's good. Device threat detected.
Sorry.
Wow, that is impressive, dearie.
Like
And
the you saw this. That reaction time shames you or any member of your organization. It was utterly supernatural.
there's something very deeply wrong with you.
Tell me about it.
Do you find long stretches of time where you have no recollection of your own surroundings?
No, I'm remembering everything with more clarity every day.
At your age, that's quite impressive.
That's one word for it.
So while they're talking, can I walk up to another bank of computers and I suppose gingerly hit one of the buttons?
So you, I'll probably go to you first because you don't have a particular thing, which I'll get to in a second. But I would say roll your choice of Arcana, like Hacker's Tools, or Arcana or Hacker's Tools. I would say.
I can't trouble you for investigation.
Investigation, but you'll get different information.
Okay. I won't bargain. I'll take what you were originally offering.
That's fair.
I've got thieves' tools rather than hackers' tools.
Okay. I would say Hacker's Tools is one of the things you could pick up through the goals reward system. Sort of proficiency with basically a Martel Tech proficiency.
Yeah, I think I took thieves' tools with the idea of. Well, actually, no. I think I took thieves' tools with the idea of breaking into a mortal site.
Yeah, exactly.
So in that case,
getting in rather than.
I won't try to bargain that.
Sure.
In that case, it will just be Arcana to +1.
Go for it.
Any bonuses or anything?
I will take into account the fact of who you are while I am deciding on the DC.
That's a total of 16.
16. Okay, yeah, you fire up some screens like. So the screens themselves are just flat black, like almost like slate, but very fine grained slate. Again, chased through with this grey carved out and then infill of these microchip patterns. As you do,
Holographic screens.
Holographic screens appear above the black, and you can actually like pick them up and move them over to different places. What information are you looking for here?
Okay. I'll look see if I can find the original purpose of this site, and see if I can find any leads on what main site this was subservient or a slave to.
Cool.
And then location of that or information around that.
As you log in,
And I'm assuming all of this is in Normatal, so that we're just seeing
Yeah.
the glyphs.
Greens moving around. It's
But
like, I don't know if
You see,
you do see a security cam footage still of Will off to one side. You can see what it says. It says user 00 as you what should we call it?
access.
As I log in.
Basically, yeah.
Will look a little bit different in that photo.
Yeah.
Assuming it was taken at the point that the user ID was created.
You can see Miz in the background of it.
Okay.
And Augustine in the background of it. You are doing like this motion.
Does it look like it was taken today?
Yes.
Just now?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, so I've literally just created this
Roll Arcana or Insight. Anyone could do that.
This tech is interesting. It takes your picture.
21 for
22.
Arcana.
Insight.
21
You're
insight.
shooting for like probably a 16 for anyone got that. That Will is in the middle of somatic components there. It was when he cast that on-off cantrip that it took
It took the photo.
Recognized him as a
recognized
user.
him as a user.
Right,
Exactly
yes.
that. Yeah.
That funny magic he did when you turned the lights on looks like it
That would make sense.
would give it.
What do you? Again, if you're going over to the banks as well, you can see a place to put the skull in.
Then that is what I will do, and yeah. Wakey, wakey.
You see, a load of screens come on. I mean, this is kind of your bread and butter. This
Yeah.
was your social contact for quite a while. So, what information are you looking for?
It'll be an initial greeting of "Good morning, how are you?" To try and.
Come on, I've recognised.
See, it's in a grumpy mood again.
Miz, I think this might be a different one because we're in a different place. They're like sisters and brothers.
Date readiness.
How do you mean date readiness?
No, state readiness.
State readiness.
Or
Again, the voice speaks in precursor, and the skull repeats in this sort of very neutral, dead tone. Substation power throughput, 86%.
is there somewhere that we can put the crystal? Like,
Roll Arcana.
We would have been told what to do with the crystal here, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, let's. Ooh, that is not good. That is a 9 for Arcana.
I mean, you'd probably just like stick it in the big light, probably.
Is it?
You were specifically instructed to hold the crystals by both ends, not to touch the brass ring in the middle, but hold it by the two like spindle point
Yeah.
ends and place of one crystal into the light stream.
Yeah.
Voice.
Are you talking to?
Yeah.
Yes.
It occurs to me that many hands make light work. Sorry, that's an idiom. More people...
More processing power allows for faster efficiency.
Yes, exactly so. Is it possible to create, say, a language pack that I could upload to this site that would translate the Omatl that we're reading here into Ulsterian so that others can interface as well and assist with the search?
How would it respond to that?
I mean, it doesn't. I think it doesn't have to be like right now, but something to work on and then use at a later date.
Yes, that is. You try, see if you're quick enough.
Subsidiary
It's got a bit
device.
glassy-eyed again.
Is it like something along those lines? Subsidiary device communication unimportant. Do not stray from your mission, will
Can I use sleight of hand?
you? I'm going to
Well,
say
it's distracted.
actually stealth is what you're going
Stealth,
for.
yeah.
Give him a little
19.
tiny mustache.
Ooh, okay. Shit. Real low.
Would it have advantage because it has access to all the cameras from all viewpoints here?
That's a good point. That's even worse. I'm going to say you twig a little something of what's going on. You don't know what the fuck's going on, but you know that it does rely, whatever force is causing Will to do this supersonic reactions, is still relying on his eyesight. What you essentially do is, can I borrow you a second? So you just turn that way,
That way.
the other way.
Ah.
You basically just reach through with a pair of pens and just like
Like that. And what was the check total, sorry?
19.
19. Yeah, versus a 9. That's not gonna... That's with advantage as well. Like,
There's something.
And whilst I'm this close and appear to have stealth,
Hmm.
can I pickpocket the wanted poster that is in
Sleight
his
of hand.
pocket? 14.
Jesus, another pair of 4... so, on 4 rolls, 5, 4, 4, 4.
Would I also be able to roll my own?
You can roll your own perception as well, though. This is to avoid you getting shot. His is to see if he sees you.
That was a grand total of 11.
What was your total there?
14.
Yeah, you very definitely just lift the... without even, like, disturbing a hair, let alone a fold of fabric, you, lift this piece of crumpled paper out.
Meanwhile, I've got a 19 on perception, so.
Oh, you see that.
But you're watching me doing the...
Oh yeah.
You clock all of that, basically.
And now that I know the pen was successful, I hand the pen back to you.
It's very strange, dearie. It's very strange. I think I need to get him checked out.
I am frantically updating my journal at this.
You still have the case strapped to your wrist.
Yes, I forgot about that thing.
Open it up.
Yeah.
Right.
And then start doing
But
It's going
when,
to
when we start, it's going to take a while, right? Is it
take
worth...
8 hours per crystal.
Can we
yes.
close the doors to the facility?
I'd ask these two, they're knee deep in whatever.
Before we
technology
start,
well
my
they've
point
given
being.
these,
Oh, yeah, I'm going to look for a closed door and
Oh, yeah,
facility
you
command.
can probably manage that with an off, to be honest. honest.
Okay, yeah.
Whoa.
And do
I
you have
think
one
they-
of those picture boxes for outside of the facility, like staring at the entrance?
It's very interesting that. I don't know how you did that.
So, you're asking if I can see outside.
Is there a camera at the entrance facing outside so we can see anyone approach?
Can I bring that one of those up, the outside view on a view screen?
You can't.
Ooh.
For very good reasons, which I do not think would be discernible in any way. Roll insight, but you're needing a natural 20 and at least like a 5 modifier.
Oh, well, no, that was a natural 4 and I got +3.
Like, yeah, there are no cameras on the outside. Are you placing all the crystals into?
Are the doors shut then, dear?
Yes, the doors are shut.
I'm going to ask you later about all this stuff because you seem to have a lot more knowledge than you should for an old man.
So
I've
do
been
the
around
doors
a
close
while.
quite obviously. Yeah.
You can't have been around
So-
that long.
So at that point, I will like sort of scream into the skull, emergency override, open those doors.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So you fully like belly scream, emergency override, and yeah, the doors fly open and like you're not quite sure where from, but lights start to pulse on the ceiling, and there are no. This facility doesn't have any kind of weapons, but you get the sense that like security turrets would be coming down if it did. Like you've seen this kind of thing before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna-
You definitely
What are you doing?
I'm going to stop what I'm doing there and turn to
I'm already running towards the front.
Miss, it's okay.
No. We're not
Yeah.
closing the doors.
Yeah,
We
you
can't see them
bolt
coming-
for the
yeah. Yeah. Unless you're physically grabbing me, I am at the front of that cave entrance.
Lily just screams stop and uses command.
Ooh.
Okay, could I get a? You're looking at you. You're running. You're casting command. Can I get a perception check from you?
Not 20.
Oh,
I
nice.
can see
Up
that.
in one
yes.
corner of the room. User 01.
Cast the spell. Yeah.
As you, I think we're gonna go into like freeze frame as you're running for the door. You're looking after. You have that like black light coming from your eyes as,
Yeah.
as your spellcasting overtakes, and you just sort of noticing up in the corner. User, and then it disappears. I think that's probably where I'll end as we are getting towards 10:15, and we'll pick up from there next time.